Multiple drinks in his hand.
The video game leaning over the edge.
Yeah.
He's got his prerequisite 3 drinks plus 1.
Daniel's ready.
Actually, I've
Welcome.
got 5 drinks here.
Welcome, world,
Hello.
to the Jade Colossus. There will be a point coming very shortly where you have spent more time away from the Jade Colossus than you did near it, so...
It's fine.
I appreciate that you are measuring.
I just realized I made 2 drinks.
I mean, if you have too many drinks, I'll
Too
just
many
have to drink
drinks.
it.
Is there such a thing?
Thank you.
There is when you're a drink hoarder. Eventually you become addicted to it.
Exquisite. All right. Thanks for tuning in, crew. We love you. We got some hoodies representing.
We've missed you so much.
How have you returned?
Yes.
Goodies.
Welcome back to your place where you are now.
Your rightful home. At the table amongst us.
As digital ghosts.
You missed 4 crit fails last week, hoodies.
No!
And they were guess
don't need to
who
know.
was- They do want to know because it's time to launch into a summary.
Can you guys scoot down just a touch more?
Summary.
Come on over. It's nice over here.
So last
Just make
week...
sure you're not getting half your face cut off. Unless you want to be...
Stepping in
yeah, I know.
That sounds like
I don't know what you're talking about.
going through a wall.
Last week in the city of Bodrov, the group encountered the Pink Death, otherwise referred to as the Slurping Death,
Or the fleshy death.
or the Fleshy Death.
I don't know if anyone called it that, and I'm glad they didn't.
The Fleshy Death. An eerie pink flesh-colored creature that exists or came from some other dimension, so refracts light in such a way that it's difficult to look at. It's blurry no matter how close you stand to it. Was
Weird.
was stalking about the underground of Bodrov, eating people. And so the group went to investigate, try and get to the root of it. They discovered that actually there were 2 of them, and that they had been eating people in order to feed their young. They ended up turning out to be sentient, and were motivated to keep their young fed and warm next to the giant mechanical gyroscope that kept Bodrov from collapsing. So a deal was struck once Jophiel stepped out into the unknown and saw the many possibilities that the city of Bodrov would feed them 7
cows.
7 cows was the
7 cow
number.
problem.
It sounded like a biblical tale.
It was.
Yeah.
7 cows. I'll do it.
1 cow
Crawled
was not
out of
enough.
the belly of Bodrov, and we're like,
Swear
and
to you.
7 cows shall be the number, and no more, no
7
fewer.
oxen.
Yes.
Yes. And so
Feed them 7 cows. Well, come on in.
Enta.
we're live, just to let you know.
Cool. I figured you were
Everyone's aware that you're late.
It's recorded for all time.
The hoodies are aware that you're late, I should say.
And
Well,
Shad.
I brought a Numenera as like peace offering.
Oh my gosh.
What?
That's cool. What is it?
Everyone
Is it a
effectively
fidget?
distracted.
No, it's literally just a glow cube. You typically put it in drinks
Ah.
to make them glow.
Oh.
So if you want to use that, I'll start bringing that as some props.
Gelatinous cube.
Could be whatever.
Is it waterproof?
Can you
Yes.
mix the colors?
It came from Disney.
I think turning it off. and
I've had it for like
on switches
almost
the
a year and a
colors.
half now. And one of the options will have it set on a rotation so it'll change colors.
That's what I was talking about.
One of them will do that. I don't know which one. You'll have to keep clicking to find out.
Dun dun.
Well, in any
There's
case.
whiskey in there if you'd like.
Delightful.
Baller.
So, the group managed to resolve the issue with the Pink Death, and there was much rejoicing and celebration from among Bobert's fellow crewmen in the mines. I also realized that night, you know, they call it fridge logic, right? Where you see a movie and you're like, that was so great, and then later that night you're like standing at the fridge and you're like, wait a minute. Like, all the different things didn't quite line up, right? You're like, we were totally missing some things in that movie, right? Well, I had that fridge logic moment that night of like, we didn't rescue Kid Taurus.
Who's to say they won't
We
show
thought
up?
Kataris was dead!
Yeah, I thought
believe.
Kitaris was. Wait, which one was the guy who
Well,
was cowering
we
in
knew that.
fear?
No, that was.
Narlan Fesh.
Narlan Fesh.
Yeah,
Okay.
Narlan Fesh is good, but Kid
Two
Taurus
friends.
indeed might
Yeah, I thought the other guy died.
truly be dead or maybe undiscovered.
Officially, what we learned from Narlan Fesh was that
I thought the other
there
guy
were no
slurped to death.
witnesses to that, which I did notice when I was re-listening to it.
You're like,
and
oh, whatever
I was
happened
like,
to that
oh.
character?
No,
Certainly,
Keith, I didn't
certainly
doubt you
Keith
for
would
a
never
second.
forget about things.
No, absolutely not.
Never do that. I was trying to think of a voice for Crab Guy on Sunday, so
Yes.
I'm working on him. I can do a low voice, but it doesn't carry, so I don't know if it'll work.
He has those mandibles.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really weird. It's hard to like come up with him. So I'm thinking of like a deep voice. I don't know.
We're speaking of the Sunday stream.
Sunday.
Make sure to catch us on Sunday, 6:30, same time, for Chronicles of Future Earth.
I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, we've got.
I've been waiting all week for this.
We're doing it in coordination with the Kickstarter, which is currently live. I'm posting the link in the chat right now. You should go check it out. It is a quick start campaign module that we're running on the stream on Sundays, and it is just a joyous, wonderful setting with. Similar to Numenera in that it's far future, but it is like totally wacky cosmic fantasy where we've got aliens and we've got mantis men, but we also have dark cultists and time magic and all kinds of crazy off the rails, joyous stuff going on. So
Did you pick the psionicist? Is that if you're
Chai Bayan?
Oh, you got that one?
Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
The Callie is the time priest.
Priestess,
Well, there's
yeah.
the guy that looks like an alien.
Yeah.
Where I was like, if we end up like with that one, I was like, I'm gonna do like the latest iteration of Frieza voice if that one's still available. But
I think Sophie's been
I'm gonna
killing it with a
Cool.
which is very
so you get that one.
Solarian.
Nice.
Yeah, totally.
Very cool.
Yes.
I'm excited. So
The blinking and the fast lizard like talking, yeah, it's been perfect. So great, excellent role play.
At
and
least tune in for the overlays and the art because
yeah, the overlays
Divine.
put much work into, and the art is just incredible. That setting. So
I've been
just
staring
pulling
at
everything in.
those character sheets.
Yeah.
I was like, man, look at that. I'll just say though, he does not look like a mantis man. He looks like a crab man. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna say he's definitely. I would call him crab man,
yeah, he's crab-like.
but he's still very cool.
I was watching the
Sixfold.
they posted their own YouTube video of them playing it. The lead designer, and yeah, there was a great brawl where the Mantis Man had the Time Priestess hit the Mantis Man with some time speed up magic, and he does like he has those ninja star things in his hands, and he used like all 6 of his arms to fling these ninja stars while he was like in fast forward and just like wiped out this like
I
whole
hadn't
group of
thought
people.
about using it like haste. That's fantastic.
It was wild. Yeah,
Nice.
it's a really
That's the Final Fantasy logic right there.
it's a great system. Fate Core, but like with a whole bunch of it's Fate Core on steroids. It's great. So yeah, check that out on Sunday. Sunday, and also on Thursdays. We just started this week a new stream on Thursdays. GMXP, which is essentially Josh and I setting up this table that you see before you for Friday, and talking about D&D stuff, talking about topics to level up your game is the subtitle for GMXP.
Level up yours.
Level up yours.
Your campaign.
your campaign. So
Keith?
You're offended, but you also are like, that's
the
fine.
like title on this is
Also
as long as
Ready to,
everything
like,
can be
put
changed
some
while we're
text.
live.
Yeah.
It can, yeah.
Is this street legal, by the way? I got a D20 pinned to my shirt.
This is
Yes.
so epic.
I love it.
Okay, I'm ready.
Spin it.
I love that. That's rad.
Oh, nat 20.
All right.
Nat 15.
We're gonna start this.
Nat 20.
Oh, this one's ready.
We're gonna start this off with a treasure raffle.
Oh!
Yeah, because there were some ciphers in the lair of the
Of course there were.
Pink Death that they gave you as a sign of goodwill, right? As a parting of goodwill. So first, I'm gonna start a treasure raffle.
As a sign of goodwill.
So those in the audience,
While we're doing that, I'm gonna crack one open.
just do exclamation point raffle to join the treasure raffle, and one person will be picked to roll for party treasure.
Come on in.
While that's happening, one player should roll a d6 to know how many ciphers are in this room. 5. Excellent.
Bang. Under the bridge, baby. Call that the troll roll.
Excellent.
The troll roll.
The troll roll.
I'm killing it tonight.
You are.
And give me 1 second while my group chews up some time while I make a quick fix.
How about rolling the gravity well?
Gravity well.
2 minds, 1 soul. It's a 15 right here.
Hey, I'll take a 15.
Oh. Do you know what's something funny? Is that it was sitting over here before the game on a 15 with a bird on it. So I feel like it's referring back to it wasn't ready to leave.
It's an echo.
But
It is.
do you want what happened to you last week to happen again this week?
I don't know. Are people gonna keep rolling?
Yes. I will always roll.
Even when it's on a 15? She rolled a 15.
Okay, so if you were to grade that, that's a 75%.
Yes.
Ow!
Yeah, but we're talking luck here, not with study.
In case you're wondering what the gravity well is, check the chat golem in the chat to have the lore explained to you.
Chat Golem will help.
Lord.
And if you'd like someone to read that for you and narrate it with gusto while we determine what we're doing.
What are you gonna do with this?
Say yes in the chat.
What are you gonna do with this gravity well here?
You may roll it?
No, I don't
You
want
can
you to. I'm
ruin
asking.
it?
Every player has complete ability to decide do they want to risk it or not. Even if it's on a nat 20, someone could pick it up.
What was it on
and roll
before you guys rolled it?
A 1. It always starts.
I'm sitting over here rolling 20s right now, so
Yeah.
I don't think I play by the same rules right now.
It's up to you.
I got 14.
Only you can say.
I got
Yeah,
I
this
think it's a
is-
4. It's a 5.
Josh, we got a 15 on the die.
I'm not touching that.
You don't want to touch
That's what I
it?
No.
said.
Put a bird on it.
Okay.
All right.
Alright.
Put a jelly thing on it and then a bird on it.
Oh man, jelly.
Oh.
Glowing
Is it gonna stay?
Oh.
Oh.
It is going to be a special.
A space bird has been put upon it.
Can we change? Can we try to find a way to make it glow, rotating through colors?
I feel like it's gonna
Get on that.
blow up.
What did I juju it?
That's a nice color.
Isn't it? I got another one somewhere. I think this might be the one.
Hey.
Yes. Yas, queen. Yas.
Right.
4K. I'm gonna order like 20 of those. Hang on, right? I'm actually gonna read it now.
You may need some more batteries after this 3-hour game of D&D.
That's why I'm ordering 20 of them.
All right.
Throw them away after the forget
One
the
use.
batteries.
One
Single
use.
use
It's
item.
awesome.
Yeah, good. No, I want 20 of them so we can layer them around so that if we walk into like a glow palace,
If
Ah,
possibly.
I want them to be
it
able to build a
happens.
glow palace.
is this a glow palace?
You'll find out by tuning into Level Up Yours. Only on Thursday.
Nice roll, by the way.
All right. So we've got 5 ciphers.
Fork yeah.
Count them. 5.
5. Do you guys feel comfortable with letting the treasure raffle, whoever is chosen from the treasure raffle, roll for the amount of shins that you get as well? All the things.
Give me the shins, man. Audience interaction. I don't speak for everyone.
Are we under
I
the
speak for me.
D&D category?
I just changed it, Shadsar. Thank you for that, though.
The thing we did last night was D&D, so it was still just carrying over. We forgot to change it.
There's a Numenera category now.
Tabletop role-playing games.
Ooh.
A general.
They're
also
or tabletop.
yeah. There is a Numenera as well. There aren't a whole lot of people on it, so tabletop RPGs makes more sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I was
We
gonna
like it
say,
there.
I mean, is it that bad that we're categorized as D&D?
Well, I mean, we're not real. I guess we're not supposed to be. It's not really. I don't know. I don't feel like it matters, but to some people it might. So we're happy to just do the tabletop RPGs.
I guess
Also, the advantage is that, like, with not a whole lot of viewers, we can be towards the top of the tabletop RPGs. So anybody that pops in there,
Fair.
will see us toward the top of the list. Whereas D&D, we're competing against a ton of streams that have a lot more viewers. We'll be a lot lower on the list. So there's advantages to each way.
All right. The winner of our raffle,
Kitty.
Yay!
Kitty in a hoodie.
Yeet. I feel like Kitty's given us all our Numeneras, or all of our ciphers so far.
That's what happens.
no
when
one
you're-
should have
when
that
you're-
much power.
when you're a #1 fan.
Let's be honest. Does Kitty and Hoodie have too much power?
No.
Kitty in a hoodie's power levels are like, you're not ready.
Over 9,000.
All right.
What 9,000? That's impossible.
Come get your loot.
Excellent.
9,000.
All right.
Come and get your loot.
First roll was a 17,
Love that song.
which means we're consulting the Numenera core book. Second roll was a 39. Image projector. Someone else write this. And from Kirby in a hoodie.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Kitty!
Oh, yeah.
Kitty in a hoodie, I'm sorry.
Is Kitty too far?
Image projector from
Can't
the
answer.
core rulebook.
The physicist
Projector.
Image projector.
that he
You got
called
it?
out. made fun of.
Oh, can we give a shout out to the law machines even on right now?
It's like being a physicist where your work doesn't actually matter.
I didn't say it like that. That was awfully cruel. All right.
What has science done?
Taylor, MBK Condit says, "What's up, Taylor?"
Nice.
What's up, Dave?
I wonder if is that Andy?
All right, second one.
Could be.
Cypher was with a 60, which is a extra time from the Cypher collection.
Extra time.
From
We
the
all like
cypher
extra time.
From the cypher collection.
The third Cypher is 98, which is a vocal changer.
Oh, yes. That would have been nice 2 sessions ago. Fuck that.
Katie, give us one more treasure.
It was 17, 39, 60, and 90. Oh, sorry.
Did you skip?
got it.
No, it's just
Something that was
sometimes it requires 2 rolls to like resolve a piece of treasure.
right.
So
Right.
Where was the
Chad Golem's just messing with us right
vocal
now.
changer from?
Roll again.
Oh dang! My dang cooldown. What a fool I am! Give me 1 second.
Thank you. I was like,
That-
Ian.
You scared me. You scared me, sir.
Yeah.
Y'all
I
terrified.
do that voice regularly.
All right, try it one more
Like when
time,
I
Kitty.
wake up in the morning, right before my coffee, I have to have my Gandalf voice.
Oh yeah.
Serene. Have you seen the video he did about, he was coaching, I think, what's his name? Ricky Gervais
Arg.
on acting.
Oh yes.
I just changed the cooldown.
We also have D100s at the table in front of us that we can.
You lose it
All right.
early.
Well,
Thank you.
I hope it's okay, but I'm gonna have Chad Golem roll for your treasure.
okay, if it
Ooh.
sucks though, that's on you, Keith.
It didn't work anyway, so.
Given to us by Chad Golem on 9/12. Oh,
More like Chad Golem.
Rigged.
you magician.
Oh, wait, track home got it.
Roll.
Oh, come on, Chad Golem.
Roll.
We don't need that many.
Yes.
I just had him
I'll
do
take
4 because sometimes it takes 2 to resolve it. So I was like, usually you're getting probably 2 ciphers at a time, but this is like the boss loot, right, from this creature. So, all right,
Wait,
so
that's
we've
how
got
many Numenera we get?
we've got a 78 motion activator from Cipher Collection. Are you out of cards?
Yes. I have-
1,000.
Oh,
Kirby and Hoodie, thanks for tipping.
Oh shit!
Sharing with 1,000
Kirby.
bits.
Oh,
Bits. Woo!
give me the bits.
Big money.
Wait.
Yes.
I'm quitting my job right now.
New tip leader, new cheerleader. Cheerleader. That sounds
Yeah.
Tip leader.
like it's a thing or something, right?
Tip leader, chip leader, man.
Many thanks.
Give me the bits.
All the things.
Look at that big, beautiful bit stone.
Bits.
Love it.
Okay. I did the 78.
Well played.
Let's do 71 as our 4th one. I'm gonna go over here because Rejuvenator.
We are rejuvenated.
Why are we doing 4?
I think that equals 6, right? No?
I think we got 4 or 5.
We have 4 right now. 5 is what the number we're aiming for.
Okay. So one more. So we've got
before.
They did.
a 64. It's okay. We got this.
Basing it with it.
This is a mind disrupting poison
Oh fuck yeah!
from the core rulebook.
Do we have another
Mind
card?
disrupting.
Blank card.
Hold on. I might have one with me.
Ooh.
So prepared.
Got him. All right.
These are all like revelations from the previous game.
Mind.
Like, don't look at that.
Did you say mind disruptor
Poison.
poison?
Yeah.
Whoa.
That sounds really like.
There's a whole lot going on there.
That's like
Yeah.
underhanded. Mind disrupting poison.
And that's from the core rulebook.
I just felt like spelling everything that ended.
Wait, does that mean that
with
that's just
an
alcohol,
OR,
dude?
Even though it's
Disruptor.
that's probably wrong.
You know?
Indeed.
All right, and it also says, well, someone
My
rolled
favorite kind of poison.
a D100
It literally is poison.
for the shins. Kitty, you wanna? Or Kirby, you wanna? Who? I'm sorry. Who?
Kirby.
won?
Kirby's the one that just gave us 1,000 bitcoins, just like Kirby did.
Kirby. Kirby, give us
She gave us 1,000.
give us a
sorry, they would.
D100,
Awesome.
which you can do by
Ready to go. Like,
by a
let's go.
command like that.
Loaded. Doing this full time. Actually, what would happen if we just?
I just had these.
A 7.
What?
7.
Hey.
7 shins.
I've shaken my rump on camera before. Okay. Sometimes you gotta do that. Here.
That's okay, but because there were so few shins, there is also perhaps. I'm gonna take the perhaps
I have heard it.
as a yes, but there's perhaps a salvageable artifact.
Oh.
So I'm going to say that the perhaps was a yes.
Was the salvageable artifact a bag of shins?
You've really
A bag of more shins than 7.
It's like an old pot that's like made of moonstone material, and crack it open. There's just like more shins.
So Kirby, give us one more D100 for the artifact, and this is the serious. This is
The fact that Kirby and Kitty just basically said the same thing, I'm not sure who's making fun of who here.
We're not the only twins in the
Yeah.
Or do they just know each other so well?
They're
We
also
have
mind melded.
a 6-sibling squad of
Man.
3 twins,
I didn't
only
realize that.
2 of whom were born on the same day.
Only 2 of us are technically
Yeah,
twins.
twins, and then Kirby and Kitty
Spiritually,
are
yeah.
twins.
Well, they shared the womb though, so that counts.
Twins at different times.
Yeah, and then Madeline and Tessa just like it took
They're
13
womb buddies,
years.
womb mates.
All right, we got it.
Roommates.
A 10.
Really long labor.
A 10.
I'm writing it down everywhere.
Oh, my roommate never does the dishes.
We were
and
roommates
it's so
since the
annoying.
All right, here's your artifact, guys. Are you ready?
Ready?
Yes.
Ready for this?
Sorry.
And make sure to thank Kirby in a hoodie for this glorious.
Is it artifact with like an E? Art, like the old?
No, with an I. This is a brain bud.
Oh, okay.
Brain bud? What the heck
It
is
is. It is an organic pod, almost like a small hemispherical bit of fruit. Once grafted to the host, It takes on the appearance of the host's flesh. It can graft
So you
onto
have a
your-
tumor.
Yeah, you have
basically.
it's not a tumor.
What is this thing called?
Brain bud. It's a brain bud.
tumor. It's a brain bud.
It's a brain bud.
It's very important.
The pod grafts onto any living host. It must be near the brain and injects complex chemicals that greatly improve brain activity. It grants a +5 bonus to maximum intellect pool.
Whoa.
Oh, so this is a good thing. I thought this was like some sort of bad thing. That,
No,
like,
an artifact.
Artifacts are like the 10 times cipher.
so basically, you have to put a mole on your face, but you get smarter.
A tumor.
Yeah.
A tumor. I mean, it's like a
Not a
fruit,
tumor.
so it's like a pretty good size.
Yeah, think about a kiwi being on your head.
I'm not taking that. Someone else can have that.
Oh, I'm so surprised. I thought that
I
Cat
thought
was
so,
gonna
too.
jump for that.
Do you want it? Do you want to put? Dude, I already like. I have the internet stuck in my neck.
I feel like Patsy would pick this thing and be like, Joe, what the fuck is this thing?
Yeah, you should. You should put it like
It just
where
sticks to her face. right over an eye.
And the skin just like pulls out over it.
It's like ew.
You could potentially put it on your crystal throat and cover it up a bit.
All right, so
Yeah, but then you have this giant.
if you
like,
guys are really not
later.
about this idea of its appearance, we could work together to have its appearance be like different,
Beauty
but it
mark.
still has to be like
Can it be a beauty mark?
No, I think the appearance is a
thing.
part of it.
Yeah.
It's a huge benefit, but you have to have this thing on your like head or wherever. It's
You could hide it
Or
somewhere
are you
behind
saying
your,
that we
your-
could
your
change
mane.
it to something a little different, but it'd still be like outstanding
Yeah.
and strange?
yeah, it's still
How about a
has to be,
third eye?
It still has to
Could
be
it look like a
really
third eye?
obvious.
Is that
yeah.
still okay?
Right? Someone you could put a fucking cat.
What are your thoughts? Hannah's got thoughts.
Did you say 5?
5.
Oh, yeah, I don't care what it looks like.
Yes!
That's what I'm saying. It's super powerful.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
for me would be a total 20 intellect pool.
Joe.
That's what I got. You'd catch it to me.
Oh,
Rude. What?
Damn, Patsy.
What?
Patsy's a smart ass motherfucker.
It doesn't show. Says Bobert. That was Bobert. That wasn't me.
I will prove it tonight on the stream. Mark my words. As a player.
Ooh.
Bobert's waiting to be impressed as a character.
Yeah, I mean, if you would rather it be like perhaps it sinks into your brain, and then it leaves just this grotesque like series of spiderweb veins or something like that, right? The idea is that it is like obvious and grotesque.
How much is it worth? Is it worth it?
Agreed, kid.
I don't think clearly we want.
Not
clearly
negative
none of
Patsy
us want
points.
it.
Like,
I don't think that's no.
can't
Joe wants
receive
it.
Joe wants
Patsy
You
it.
gonna use it? You gonna use it?
oh yes,
Well then use it.
yes. I do.
Negative Patsy
Somebody throw it
points
on
for
your face.
Bobert.
no, can't receive Patsy points. Like, enable. Has an inability to receive
Well,
Patsy.
Guess it doesn't need them.
You're on Patsy points cooldown right now.
That's even cool. Yeah. So
There's gonna be a
can I
fight.
have that artifact card?
Brain
It's not on a
bud.
card. You
I got the page open to
have
it.
to accept
Top
it into your
artifact.
life.
Top
You have
left.
to put it on your face now.
Make
Most,
sure you spell
uh,
it
Why don't you just
or
Why don't you
wrong
just like
for
open
it.
up the little gash wherever the heck it is on your face and just like shove it under it.
Well, I
Seals
thought
it
about
up.
that, but I also thought do I have one?
Does Joe
weird-
have an inability to
Yeah, I
wear-
think Kirby's nailing it. How weird can Joe be by the end of this series?
Yep.
That's the goal. That's really
Agreed.
the marker.
Kirby
One of the
Get
great
me.
joys, in my opinion, about Numenera is that as characters get more powerful, they get more and more grotesque because they have like surgical. Like Daniel's character in the other game had
Weird
some
as
kind of
fuck.
weird mechanical graft that allowed him to speak another language,
Orion
but it was
doesn't
just
like
like a
it.
thing that was going into his spine.
Yeah.
I also had a small satellite coming out of my back.
Yeah, but
That
that's
was such a
cool.
weird
That's
thing.
weird, but it's like 80s, like you know.
This guy was not cute. In
I
any
didn't
way.
say
You
cute.
know
I said
what, though?
cool.
I'm gonna.
He wasn't cool either.
I'm
He
gonna pull
sucked.
up the photo
I think
and
that
put it
sounds
on
cool
my
though.
back.
Having a
Okay.
satellite dish on your back, you sound like a He-Man character. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's true.
You're like
I propose though that Joe has an inability to wearing hats.
Yeah.
That existed already because of the way I designed my character.
Yes.
What's an
giant
extra
string of your
inability?
huge
What's the
hair.
opposite of specialized?
Yeah, it's a super inability.
Super duper inability to wear hats?
Where should I put these so that people can look at them and decide if they want to possess them?
Why don't
Can I
we
just
put them here in this thing.
Yeah, but what about the cup of plenty?
Take a look at that.
Or whatever it is, the
Then I'll
horn of
pass it on
plenty.
to this side of the table. Glave's
Yeah.
gonna take care of Glave's over here.
I mean, the rejuvenator is
That's some
interesting to me
bullshit.
because that sounds like a healing tool,
Just take-
and the vocal changer
many do you
sounds
have?
really cool. But I don't really know if. I mean, Orion's not good at deceiving, so a vocal changer could be good in that way. But like somebody else that's a lot better at deceiving would maybe do better with it.
So there's one for each person, right? So
Yeah.
True.
Or people could take two. Some people.
I have
You have to have
room for
room
one.
for them as well.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a strength booster somewhere. I don't remember where it is though.
Yeah, keep in mind your maximum. I don't think that's gonna be a problem for anybody because you've been using them.
-3, Bobert.
I'll clip that so we know who really done it.
Who really done it?
The instant replay.
I'm not afraid of the tree.
Alrighty.
And then we like circling it. And we're like, you can see right here.
Yeah.
This moment.
It's the John Madden.
Oh yeah, right here we got the.
Yes.
You see, the object of the game is to get the ball into the end zone.
Maddenism.
All right,
in the Madden football
It's
games, you could
Madden.
actually you could turn that on or off if you would hear John Madden's
That's true.
voice say the obvious thing.
They
Yeah.
called image projection.
Maddenisms.
I think this would be helpful because I can.
You
look
actually
up
it was a
stuff
toggle
and
that you could turn off.
But then there's also the extra time thing.
Is anyone drawn to Mind Disruptor, Poison, or Vocal Changer? You said maybe Vocal Changer. but
I
you
already
got
have
pick
another,
one.
so I'm good with this. What happened to our music also?
You
Yeah,
should take both, Patsy.
I don't have room for both, and I like the one I've currently got.
Oh,
So I'm gonna drop
I know like
the.
20, but I can carry 3 ciphers.
Oh.
I'm gonna
You're
take the
looking
Mind
wide-eyed.
Disruptor Poison because that seems more like Patsy's style.
I agree.
Underhanded and jerk-like styles.
Pat's
Style.
style. All right, I'm ready.
Did you get yours, Cash?
Pick your ciphers.
Did
I'm ready to roll.
you take in any?
No, I haven't.
Gonna
What do you want? You just take whatever's left.
You go. I'm
Wonder if I'm-
still recording. I'm into this.
No,
I think
I
I'm gonna
didn't.
take the.
Yeah, I just was going.
extra time. What is extra time means? Like
I think you get
two
3
actions.
extra rounds.
What?
Or maybe 2, yeah.
That's
Done.
nutty.
That's really cool.
Done.
That's nutty.
And
Did you want one of these?
There might be a downside to it. I didn't read the whole.
I'm sure it's like you
Description.
can't take like 2 rounds or something.
Thank you, Kitty.
Yeah, maybe you're out for a second.
I will use my Mind Disruptor
Excellent.
Poison well
Excellent ciphers.
against someone who probably doesn't
Okay.
deserve it.
It's time to get ready, right? Because apparently my entire work group is watching tonight. They're like, when does the action start?
When does the action start? That's what they're texting you.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out like, what's going on. I don't understand. I was like, we're getting alert.
Yeah,
You
we're
just
getting
gotta
the
go with
treasure.
it. You
Yeah.
gotta go with it. You know?
All right, so we
Feel
left
it.
off. We had just completed this great epic quest, convinced the Pink Death that 7 cattle would be enough for it to suffice, and then journeyed up to the top of Bodrov, looking for some relaxation to kick off boots and whatnot, and stepped into Bobert's apartment, Bobert's humble apartment.
Bobert is alone in his apartment right now.
Oh, we're
I thought
are we
everybody
not there
was
like
with us.
like watching you air your dirty.
I mean, I wasn't necessarily seeing that Orion was there, but if I don't know.
I don't know.
Were you inviting everyone up to your apartment, or were you
oh
like?
my gosh, yes!
I was gonna say.
I think Orion's having a drink in the tavern downstairs at the bar.
Patsy.
Fair.
What are you doing? What are you doing, Pat?
Especially because Orion was just straight ready to throw down with the Pink Death multiple times last game.
You were
I
frustrated.
dealt huge damage to it, and the people would be like, wait, but let's not fight it.
Let's talk it through.
Yeah, every time I'd like fucking smash it, and then be
didn't
like,
understand.
let's do this. And then people are like, let's talk to it.
I didn't want to talk to it. I wanted to ride
This
it.
from the
That was-
Guild
you did-
Master.
Yes,
I
that's
trained
true.
to ride in it.
You were all like Chris
Great
Pratt in
role-playing,
this.
great
Yeah, I was ready.
Nailed it.
Listen, Raptors.
Raptor
Don't eat
Pink
my face.
Death thing. Okay, so Ryan's downstairs. Who has accepted the invitation to go up to Bobert's
This is
apartment?
making it sound weird now.
Yeah, of course Bobert would.
But I'm downstairs
Light us
in
up
the
to
same
the
building,
apartment.
Okay.
so I'm nearby.
Having a little private rendezvous.
So when you guys opened, Bobert found that the door to Bobert's apartment was open, and then upon opening it, the chair that Bobert loves to read books in.
We could ask for songs and poetry.
Yes.
Probably.
Swiveled around, and a figure with shimmering, slicked back golden hair and some brilliant armor bearing the sigil of the Angular Knights stood and said something along the lines of, Bobert, you have a lot of explaining to do.
Oh, excuse me, must have the wrong room. Turns around and tries to hide behind Joe as fast as possible.
Is that what you're actually doing?
Yep.
Okay, I'm walking up. Hi, how you doing? I'm Cash. What can I do for you?
Says, yes.
I'm gonna be down at the bar.
Professor
I just decided to
Professor
say I'm not-
Weft's son. Are you not? This is just the name I made up for your dad.
Professor Weft's son.
Weft. Professor Weft is his name, and you're his son.
I immediately also deflect and turn around and try to find Joe.
Okay.
You guys are all like doing this thing around the corner.
Gonna find a different door and pretend like that might be just trying
Fucker knows everything. Joe, you're up.
He's stalling for time to be like, do I remember this person's name? Is this memory going to come back?
Yeah, both of you guys give me an intellect.
They all disappear behind Joe, and she
Intellect
just like
check.
scratches her new tumor in the back of
Oh
her head.
yeah.
And this is kind of a knowledge,
It's kind of itchy.
7.
memory kind of thing.
Just a 7, no effort
8.
here.
All right, so you guys both recognize the sigil that he bears is for the Angular Knights, which are an organization located in the Sea Kingdom of Gan, who are dedicated to the preservation of mankind, is what they kind of posit themselves forward as, and they are dragon riders.
Specifically mankind.
So like abhumans, anything that isn't humans, they can oftentimes take this cavalier-like approach of like they need to be eliminated.
The people that Daniel had played, right? What are they called? Gaians. Or are they human?
The Gaians are human.
They are technically human, but
Okay,
I could easily see them being weird about them. They're also close with the Amber Church, and the Amber Church has declared war on Gaians, so probably they're
Okay, the Angular Knights are tight with the Amber Church.
yeah. They're not necessarily associated, but they work together.
Similar goals.
Yeah. And they, as a part of their membership within the knighthood, they are bonded with a Z-Drake, which is a aquatic dragon-like creature. I don't have the picture to pull up, but yeah, it's like a dragon. It's kind of more like a wyvern, where it has like these big wings and 2 legs on the bottom instead of, and they're sentient, but I don't think they necessarily speak, and they're like, yeah, they bond with their riders, right? So yeah, you guys know that, and that they're located in the Sea Kingdom of Gan, and yeah, you feel eerily like some kind of kinship towards them too.
Familiarity.
Like some kind of past that has
Run
been.
away. Run away. Run away.
So you guys both backed out, and he's stepping towards the door.
Okay, so Joe has 0 might and is impaired from our antics with the Pink Death. So I can't really pull anything amazing off, but I will just lazily raise my hand.
Okay.
I think
You're not
we're-
really physically trying to stop them.
Yeah, I think we're coming in.
Are we though? Are we committed to coming in?
Joe is walking in.
Joe, Bobber will follow Joe.
I'm saying, wait, don't go.
Bobber doesn't want Joe to have to face consequences for
Joe turns and stares at Cash, and you hear and hear telepathically and out of the mouth the exact same message. You don't have to come, Cash.
They have a telepathetic bond for those watching at home. Their minds are linked. through the data sphere, right?
Tune into episode 1 to find out how that happened.
Episode 1 was not recorded.
Oh, well,
No, it was. It was the
was?
prequel that wasn't
Okay,
recorded.
good.
Yeah.
in that case, I was gonna say that it's lost to the ages, much like the earlier Doctor Who
Lost
series.
the data sphere.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I can't talk back to you. I can only perceive, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And I'm not aware that you have a telepathic connection to me.
Okay, so you're kind of were you telling me outright, or were you?
I
giving
told
me
you outright,
okay.
and it was a strongly resonant message that you received telepathically and in words.
I'm gonna like hang out by like the doorway.
Joe does seem to be intending to shut the door.
Shut the door.
Yes.
You're in or you're out kind of gesture, huh?
Hanson in. A slink in as you're closing the door.
Yeah, come on in.
But I'm gonna hang out by the door, like very much just trying to give off like I don't want to be here. I realize I have to be here, but I definitely.
You guys don't have to do anything.
I committed.
If Joe goes in, Bobert has to go in.
I committed to like seeing this through. Plus, my newfound friends that I've had a fun adventure with so far. I don't want to be hurt.
I had to clean
Feel
up
somewhat
if I knew you were coming over.
Well, you have been gone for a time, so.
Okay, you know a lot more about me than I seem to.
And since we were
What else you got?
once brothers together in the service, I figured we would share things that were ours.
Take your.
You have a brother?
Yeah. One second.
You taking your hand and just going.
No, that Bobert's not gonna raise a hand for that.
Okay.
Or just does like electric shock. Like of your
I'm just then like on the floor like limping.
What else you got?
Ooh. I'm gonna assess danger
Okay.
while we're in here before I pick a seat or anything like that.
Okay.
So I guess I'll just be, I don't know, I feel like really the most beneficial thing would be more inside-y, trying to get a read on that person. And I feel like assess danger should apply mostly to like
A
physically
situation.
what could cause harm in the room.
There's a pair of scissors on the
It's
dresser.
reasonable either way.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's all these Fresca cans sitting on?
You're thinking more like sense motive on this person
Yeah, I
than
guess.
perception, yeah.
What can scan?
I'll use one
You learn and get information
effort.
on. Yeah. I'd double check on the core
Hey,
book they got.
there we go, 17.
Yes!
Nice.
You got a what? Sorry.
17, trained in assessing danger, I used one effort.
Excellent.
Twice.
There is no one else in the room besides this knight, and as you're watching him closely, you're seeing that he seems actually pretty uncomfortable and nervous, and doesn't seem so much ready to draw blades or cause much of a threat.
Alright, in that case, I will take my forearm blade that I was planning on using to threaten him, if it need be, off and put it on the ground and then sit down because I'm exhausted.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that a show of saying, hey, we're not here to fight?
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys are
That was a
covered
signal
in
for you as well.
in like weird dirt and slop from rolling around in the mines beneath.
Acid mud.
Yeah, acid mud. Yeah, the dissolved remains of that stone whenever it like
Okay,
dissolved.
I was
them.
really worried where dissolved remains was going. I'll
Yeah,
accept
no, I
dissolved
wouldn't go
remains
that
as
far.
true.
That would be
Thank you.
kind of grotesque. Yeah.
Keith says, as if I would go that far.
I would never go that far.
Except I just did.
Not a mind player.
And Eddie.
Not a mind flayer.
In any way, shape, or form, I'm fine.
Do you not recognize me, brother?
I'm sorry,
Ooh, I love
I
where this is
don't.
going.
Joe, help yourself to the bed.
Make yourself comfortable.
I have a feeling, have a close feeling about you, but can't remember your name. I was kind of curious if you happen to know that I wouldn't know.
Well, we weren't exactly close.
Oh.
Does the name
Oh.
Knight Defender Dadrian ring a bell?
Does it?
I don't know. Roll. Let's see. As you're starting to, I know it's just
3? No.
Adrian with a D in front
Don't
of it.
ring no bells.
Dadrian.
Adrian, yeah.
So Dad Ryan.
Sorry, Dadrian.
Yep.
It
Okay,
sure
got it.
doesn't, but nice to meet you.
You do recognize by his title, Knight Defender, that he's like 4 ranks up on a 12 rank or something
Okay.
scale. You don't remember quite what rank you were.
Is he enlisted or is he an officer?
He is
That tells you how much I know. I didn't know the
maybe
difference.
close to an officer.
I feel like if you like enlist or like get drafted or anything like that in the military, the max that you can go is like a sergeant or something like that if it's like the army. But to be an officer, you have to go to like officers' school, like West Point or whatever else.
Okay, everybody knows.
And then you're like starting, you know,
Yeah.
at low officer, and you're working your way up through the officer.
Yeah, I
So rather
think
than being
he's
like
not
a
an
jarhead,
officer,
you're more
yeah.
like a guy who has a lot more like administrative roles.
Precisely, yeah, and command. You're trained to command rather than be a grunt or whatever.
Yeah, he is not an officer. You don't remember him. But he says,
Feels bad about that.
not that I would have expected you to remember me, but I have heard tell that you have changed in recent times.
Change might be an understatement.
You do know you're a wanted man among the Angulan Knights.
Nope, didn't know that. That's a new one. That's fresh.
Hmm.
How's that exactly?
What's the reward for that again? By the way, out of curiosity. Ooh, just juicy. Just a little, just curious.
Yeah, you might have to do some research and find out on it.
Oh, do I need to roll?
Or you
for
can
it?
ask him.
I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
Hey, just so we know what we're working with, what is the bounty on Bobert?
Cash?
Dude, I want to know how much danger we're gonna be in. If we
How
keep walking
wanted
around.
are you?
Yeah, how
That's what I want to know.
200 shins.
Only 200. Okay, what's the exchange rate to USD?
That's a lot of shins.
Just so we know. Like how much is a shin like a copper or a silver? or a
the
gold piece?
moonstone, at least in a like general sense, not to US dollar, the moonstone, like a small piece is like 20 shins, and that shit is fought over. Like people scrounge for this shit. So
Yeah, I feel like weapons are around like 10 shins. And I think ciphers are 50, I want to say.
artifacts are like 80, and that's like, it just raised her hit point value over into like 5 points, which is effectively like a whole level.
So what could our very good friend here, Bobert, have done to warrant such a bounty? I mean, he's a pretty upstanding fellow over here.
Careful with that, Cash.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I assume your gender in 4019?
No, I think it's the upstanding part.
Upstanding part. I could have seen it with a side of like sarcasm, but
Yeah.
you know.
I feel strange explaining to a person the reason why they have
The past that they've
the past that they've lived.
Well, if you're really dedicated to the preservation of mankind, I'm a man, and that'd be real kind of you to let me know what I can do to preserve myself.
Are you though? Do we even? Is the word still out on that? Are you a man?
I'll put some persuasion with that, actually.
Okay.
And I'll use 1 tier of effort.
All right.
Oh, nice! I think
You feel
last
really-
time I leveled up and I
Edge.
increased edge.
edge.
Too.
You're so edgy,
girl.
I rolled a 6.
That succeeds.
With effort, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, this guy seems to be willing to talk, so probably not that hard to convince.
And you're trying to convince him to give you some more information.
Yeah, to tell me.
He says, well, I'm not exactly here to fix the problems of your past, but I find myself strangely set on a similar path that you were, and so I'm here for some information.
Are you wanted
I am not wanted.
yet?
Oh, that's a good. Sorry. I was just thinking in my head. I was thinking
question.
out loud. I was like, oh no, that's such a good thing. I hope that turns out.
Oh yeah.
Now he's headed to the Jade Colossus.
He is headed to the Jade Colossus, and he explains that much like Bobert in the past, his Z Drake has forsaken him. A sign that Thakera, the great Drake, the god that they worship, has cursed him.
Yeah, he's out of favor.
He's out of favor, and he says, but unlike you, Bobert, I did nothing to cause the ire of Thakera.
Sorry, I feel like that would trigger a memory, if not of the specifics, but of the feeling of loss of someone forsaking you. Bobert's
And your
crying.
dragon friend.
Stop, yeah, your steed, your partner in crime.
He says,
Sobbing.
well, I'll give you a moment, and steps over to your liquor cabinet and makes drinks.
I'll
Great
intercept at the liquor cabinet.
What do you think of this guy?
It's the casual kind of tears where he can still talk normally, but just like water and flowing.
He's just very passionate.
Yeah, passion tears.
Feels.
Want to interrogate him. Was that persuasion?
Yeah.
Okay, I have an inability in pleasant social interaction. Here we go.
Excellent. All right.
Do it. Watch you be like the one that like really connects with this
Yeah,
guy.
make sure this isn't pleasant.
Get a nat 20.
It makes me not want to use effort. It's a 13.
Yeah, what are you asking him?
Tell me more about what is it? Thakora? Is that the name of the
Yeah, Thakera.
Tell me more about Thakora.
Thukera.
Thukera.
Thuquera.
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 Yeah. What is the
A-R-A.
queer? Apparently I missed that.
Thuquera is the great Drake. It's the god that the Angular Knights worship. And it's yeah. You know a little bit about it because you grew up in Gan, but
Okay, so they're based in Ghent. Then yes, I know absolutely all about that.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh yes, of course. Those.
Oh, yes.
Angular Knights.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, they're headquartered in Gan. It may actually legitimately be an organism of some kind that controls all the dragons. It might be the great dragon. The way they speak about it, it's less like a god and it's more like, this great dragon that's able to psionically communicate with all the other dragons. It's this just all-powerful Tiamat or something like that, right? But they worship it like a god. And
Qualhern is actually the great Drake.
yes,
I was thinking about Colhern.
twist, art carriage.
That's why you were so
The
so
ultimate
attached
GM
to
NPC.
Yeah,
Steve.
Thakera loves me. I don't know.
All right, so you got a 13, Jofio, on your
With that inability.
with the inability, and you're trying to convince him what
To tell me more about Thukera.
in this
Thukera.
curse.
Is that how we're saying
Thuquera.
it? Okay, that's what I have written down.
It's a really hard name to pronounce.
Is that in here?
It might be. I would look under Angular Knight with an A.
Okay.
Um,
I'm not necessarily cheating, but because this is my home turf, I feel
Yeah.
like I should know.
no, a little bit more. Yeah, totally. That's
Because I
reasonable.
kind of want this conversation to go somewhere a little bit. So
Yeah, well, you're welcome to interject too. You didn't succeed, so he mostly just recites some liturgy about, the teachings of Thuquera. You're like, tell me more about him, and he doesn't give you useful information. He kind of goes off on a diatribe as he's pouring his drinks. Yeah, and that
tight.
that occurs from Thuquera. If an Angular Knight displeases the great Drake, that their Drake will leave them and no longer follow their commands, and it's a sign from the Angular Knights that that knight needs to do penance. hear a raucous cheer from downstairs as many of the workers from the mines have returned and are cheering to Bobert's victory down in the tavern below.
I think Orion doesn't necessarily care anything for that. But he's pulled up at the bar and he's got his drink in front of him and he's already ordered Patsy's drink. Patsy's favorite drink, and he's got the stool next to him open. And he's just sitting there nursing his beer. Where's Void Effigy? We need some more alcoholic drinks.
Yeah, we need some drinks.
His Void Effigy. Abandoned.
It's okay. I forgive him.
Patsy would have probably come in, gone to the bathroom, washed up, glared at somebody, came back, sat down. First, looked at the bar, looked at the back bar to look at the product, see what the guys got, or what the bartenders got.
It's really pretty simple fare, yeah.
Is there? What he is looking for is some of his father's wine.
Roll me evens, odds. Evens they do, and odds they don't.
For the sake of drama, yes.
Something like that.
Odds they do. Is that what you said? Odds they don't.
Evens they do, odds they don't.
Yeah,
They don't.
but you could ask for it.
Tulame Dunes.
Tulame.
I sit down.
You don't see it at least.
Crush.
But they might keep it behind.
Crush the drink Orion's got waiting for me, just without hesitation.
You say crush it, you just went.
It's good to have
down
you back, Patsy.
Oh.
Slamming the drink down. Good to be back.
Okay, quick pause
Reminder,
for the
yeah.
audience at home that Patsy in the previous town of Shalamas witnessed an echo in time. The city's known for these kind of blips where they see holographic images of moments in the past, and the echo that he saw was Orion killing his father under the orders of his boss, but Orion has never mentioned this.
Yeah, and Orion has no idea that Patsy's witness to this yet, so.
Recap complete.
Bartender.
He comes over.
My drink's dry. Wondering what else you've got back there.
Oh, why, yes, I have many drinks, the likes of which travelers would enjoy.
Fantastic.
Enjoy.
Curious, have you ever heard of?
The guy's definitely some kind of mutant. Like he's a human, but has some weird skin deformities going on. He looks like a Star Trek alien, right? He's got a rubber forehead. Prosthetic.
Rubber forehead?
Rubber forehead and some face paint.
Yep.
You're
What
an
else do you
alien.
need?
Yep.
Nothing.
Wondering, have you ever served Tulame Dunes?
Thank you.
Can we just say this? Can we just say this guy's Quark?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's Quark.
Yes.
I don't know who that is. I'm sorry.
Oh, the Ferengi bartender from Deep Space Nine.
Oh, I haven't seen Deep Space Nine yet.
Never.
I'm sorry.
Did you?
What?
Did
I feel
you
like you would
next
love
gen?
that show.
I think it's on my next on my list of Star Trek stuff.
You better catch up on it.
So you
You're
know
about
the
20 years
Ferengi,
late.
though.
Yeah, I know the Ferengi. Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah, they're terrible. They're Republicans.
No.
They're totally Republicans.
I mean, they're weird traders, though, too.
They're completely like, so their religion basically is what's known as the rules of acquisition. It's what their whole society is based on. Probably the only weird backwards thing from 2018 perspective of us is that their women do not wear clothes. Anyone who does wear clothes is really weird.
Yeah.
And on top of that, any woman who has a job or has their own business is also really weird and unheard of.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing that they feel is weird. Like women are not allowed to like own their own business, and so that's seen as really uncouth. And so a lot of women who want to kind of rise up and do that because that's kind of what society as a whole values, being able to make your own way and like build your own business. Many of them will put on prosthetics. So like the women have smaller ears, so they will have prosthetic ears to make them much bigger, make them
Yeah, looks like
and wear clothes.
Whoa.
yeah.
That's crazy.
One of the many great things you'll see from several arcs in Deep Space Nine.
Excellent.
Available on Netflix. Netflix, please give us
Kickbacks, please, yeah. Also trust. Also
First-
trust.
Someone put it down somewhere.
So Patsy says Tulame Dunes, and I think Orion like has a moment with his drink where he kind of
Double
like,
take.
He coughs. Yeah, he does a kind of a moment. I'm not good at deceiving.
Do you have the kind of shins to pay for that? I might have some in the storage cellar below. I don't often keep that kind of thing out in the open with these ruffians about.
I mean, if Bobert was there, though, he would know what he was talking about. We are ruffians.
Orion, sorry, not Orion, because I'm not Orion. Patsy.
I get it. We all want to be Orion.
Why do you think I'm playing this character now?
It sounds amazing. It's cool. It's as cool as it looks.
He pushes his glass away and just says, "Get the wine."
Oh, God.
Switch into slightly harder.
Yes, will do. And puts up some little like BRB sign. Scurries down into the basement.
BRB gone to the cellar.
And as he rounds the bar, you see that he actually has like 4 spindly insectoid legs that he's moving on.
Cool. What?
This is so cool. Is he a mutant?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I want to keep
Some
that.
of
I'm not supposed to know that, but
my father's stuff. I was reminded when I was in Shalamas with Bobert.
Telling me you forgot your father's vineyard?
Of course I hadn't forgotten. I just, haven't thought about him in so long. And now that he's gone, it feels right. I feel like I can finally stomach the stuff,
He's been gone for years, hasn't he?
Yeah, but again, sometimes, things happen to where finally you can move on.
I just remember what happened on flashback.
I'll drink to that.
I was like,
don't have anything
yeah.
to cheer.
You got something right now?
Oh, yes.
I'll
My
drink to
second
that.
drink.
To moving on.
Sounds good. Had you ever tried any of my father's wine, though?
No, yes, indeed, I did have a bottle of it. It's actually like half empty, and it was recorked at some point, so it's probably bad, right? It's
Is he
vinegar
holding
at
it
this-
near me?
Oh, no!
Hey, you
He holds it on and is like, it was just opened yesterday, and then he like subtly brushes off like a layer of dust from the label.
I snatch it. out of his hand. I'm trying to grab it out of his hand.
All right, yeah, give me a roll. This will be
Speed.
pretty easy. Yeah, speed check.
11.
Yep.
Yeah. Fantastic. I'm so excited that you had it. 2 fresh glasses, please.
It looks like you thought you might be taking off with it for a moment, and then is like, yes, of course. Scuttles backwards and goes and finds some like gilded cups. They're totally the wrong type of cup. He doesn't serve much wine, but they're coffee cups.
Patsy puts his cigar out in his previous glass that he has, and then pops the cork. This probably, terribly vinegared one.
Yeah.
You asked if I had ever had it. Orion says, I prefer piss and grog over this expensive shit.
Good.
It's a waste of shins.
It tastes like piss and grog, so you should like it.
Yes. Yes.
Father wasn't much for growing wine, eh?
He was about money, treating my mother pretty poorly, and the rest of his family, I suppose. And that was about it of what I saw of him. I left when I was pretty young. But he's gone now, so we should enjoy. I also came to find out what happened to the vineyard post his death. Are you aware of that?
If you've come to find out, then you know the answer.
All I know is that your old boss now owns it. I assume you may have some knowledge of it.
What are you getting at here, Patsy?
Oh, straight for the jugular.
They neither of them can sit on this apparently. This is no Count of Monte Cristo takedown. This is as soon as I physically could.
What am I getting?
Whoa!
I've done a lot of things in my past I ain't proud of.
Oh.
Well, I think we can both attest to that.
Is the
All
poison
I'm
a
saying is
liquid
that these
or powder? Is the poison a liquid or a powder? That's what I'm like. I'm like really hoping that's where this direction's going. So
Patsy's
It
not
might say in the
coward.
description, or you can roll for it if not. Yeah.
I think me asking that question is all I wanted to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What am I getting at?
What'd you learn in Shalamas? You returned with no masks.
I return with my own. The Kabbalist of Desire, he was quite privy to me, who I am. What do you think about this?
Desire like to bend the rules.
I mean, that's what being a Kabbalist is. I understand that.
No, but you know Kabbalists aren't supposed to know each other's true identities. He liked to bend that rule.
And this is something you knew about him?
I guessed it.
How did you guess it? Bartender, where's those fucking glasses?
Oh yes, sorry, I was just trying to find the perfect glass to enjoy such a fine wine with.
Shut up and get the fuck out of here.
I think we should switch back to upstairs.
Okay, yeah.
Join us next time.
Wow, man, on a meta level, Bobert is like, well, this is easy.
Yeah. Oh well, this joke up here.
That was a good time.
Hashtag Gala Styles trending.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, this is this is me.
I realized
Gallows style.
I have to do it on the back to get it to look correct. So I'm on the back.
Oh, does it flip us?
Yeah.
It's like
stressed.
I was present for a live recording of my favorite anything, my favorite show, my favorite film, my favorite book.
But they are two in love.
Here as a player, here as a character, here as a part of the fandom. In fact, probably the whole fandom. These two people.
There we go. Is that right? Did I get it right?
Do you understand what I'm saying? It's Gala style.
Hashtag.
Crack pairing.
Yep, it looks good.
It's not a crack pairing, it's essentially canon.
I mean,
It's a couple cuts, but
It is what
it's
Hannah
B
refers to
canon.
as canon.
H canon.
Extended
H
universe.
canon.
Daedrian.
Back upstairs.
Daedrian walks
Extended
over,
universe.
and the clink of his fine synthetic plate mail as he moves across your apartment. He seems to take up the whole room because he's just kind of larger than life in this armor, and hands you a drink, and he says, "What did you see in the Jade Colossus?"
You know,
You're here to get help from Bobert. Why does Bobert need to tell you anything before you tell us exactly what you're after?
Because Bobert went on a quest of penance to the Jade Colossus,
that's where I lived.
as was told to him by the leader of the Angular Knights,
News to me.
and was sent to stand before the Hand of Fury inside the Jade Colossus, and
Well, it sure smacked me hard.
and that was the last that was heard of Bobert, was that Bobert was in Ballarad attempting to do that, and then no news for many years, and then I come to Bodrov being sent on the same mission, the same penance quest that Bobert was sent on, and I hear tell all around Bodrov of Bobert this and Bobert that. Come to find that the one who is wanted, who is a disgraced knight, lives here in Bodrov. What did you see there? What is this?
Burn Kirby!
He's a total square.
Yeah, Daedrian.
Daedrian!
Where were you at the last Omar festival, huh? Where were you and a few of the other Angular Knights, huh?
I was riding on my Z-Drake, of course, in the forefront of the festival's blah blah blah.
The forefront of the festival's blah blah blah. Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
I don't know.
I'll take that. I'll take that ad one.
You want my advice, Daedrian? You want my wisdom? Don't go to the Jade Colossus.
But how am I supposed to be reunited? I don't want to end up like you. I want to know what you've gone
I
through
don't
and
think
avoid
you
that
know
path.
anything about me. You know Angular Knight, Bobert, but I got a fresh start. I guess if that's what you want, maybe the Hand of Fury is where you ought to head. Let me show you something, Daedrian.
Oh man, safe room.
No, I'm just gonna do a charge.
Electrical, like,
Yeah.
what's you're just showing him your
Yeah, I'm
power?
not gonna do anything. I'm just going to do what needed to be done to. Yeah, I'm not gonna hit him with it, but I will.
You got that from the Jade Colossus, right?
Yes, that's
Okay.
why I'm showing.
You learned to ride.
Epic.
Display of power.
Just charge Spark. Yeah, actually, Bobert wears like a glove on his charge hand.
Yeah.
Kind of like
A big
that.
rubber glove. Black rubber glove.
Is it like the same one that a rider would use to hold on to reins, or
Probably. It's probably leftover accoutrement from his time.
Now
as an
realizing what
Angular
that glove is
Knight,
for.
His gauntlet.
Oh, that's what that's for.
That's what that glove's all about.
Yeah.
His handsome eyebrows raised.
Disgusting.
Handsome.
Oh.
No,
I know.
I agree.
I see him as
So handsome.
It's the way that like Waffle House is both delicious and disgusting at the
Yeah.
same time. I kind of feel like he's got something like that going on.
Oh, I can
yeah.
see. I'm like I don't know the
Waluigi.
actor's name, but the fan cast is complete. I can see this
You should be attracted to him, but you're just absolutely not.
repulsed
Yeah.
by everything
Yeah.
that he stands for.
Gaston?
Yeah, or Jamie Lannister.
I was
Hold
gonna
on.
say he's got like a
was necessary.
Bobert
So good.
vibe. As in the entire family. And
It's
not
even
just the
worse. I
character.
mean, but for me, what I have
I
in
think
my
it's
mind
'cause of the
particularly
blonde slick back
is that
hair.
part of what repels you is not actual like any commitment to villainy or malice. It's just blandness.
Yeah.
It's like genuinely uninteresting, generically pretty.
Yeah, and really self-serving. It's just
Yeah.
like, I don't really care what's going on in your life. I need you to tell me what I need to know so that I can avoid whatever happened to you.
Hates this.
It's also should be noted that he introduced himself as Knight Defender Daedrian, but it's been revealed that he has fallen from his title
Yeah,
because
true,
his
good point.
Drake has left him. Yeah.
Bobert doesn't really care, but I think that was good for Joe to hear. With those 9 on 20 intellect points.
I mean, currently
That might
at
mean
8.
something.
Currently
Yeah,
at 8, but
right.
that's okay.
Well, what do you think?
I want to know what you saw, what happened that you've changed this life of yours.
I gotta put this on you for you to understand. That's in reference to the charge.
Oh, are you threatening him?
That was a little bit of a threat,
Oh,
I
okay.
guess.
Okay. Yeah. good.
Well, he said, what I'm showing. Let me show you something. This. What do you think? Okay then.
Yeah. How would you like to feel it? Kind
Yeah.
of thing. Yeah. All right. Give me
I don't
a
think you understand.
give me a provoke, intimidate, intellect.
Wait, he totally brushed
yes.
off the whole like, what do you think of this?
I think Keith didn't quite understand what was going on mostly. But
And
it was
we
a threat.
had like a long aside too.
Yeah.
I think that you probably lost that thread. 17. No
Uh-oh.
effort.
All right.
Because it's effortless.
Yeah, he does. He looks taken aback, like surprised that you would even threaten him. And he's like,
This show up in any of the stories they're telling you about me?
no.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Is this something given to you by the hand of fury?
This is what I am now. Alright?
It's not phase, Mom.
This is who I am. You're not my real dad.
You're not my real dad! Isn't nothing given to me, nothing taken away. Seem to have forgotten a lot, but that's coming back too. It's all in there. And you're all Daedrian, and you gotta figure that out on your own. No one can help you be your own self. Maybe there's a reason that you and your Z-Drake aren't getting on the way you want to.
There is no reason.
The fact that you
It's a
say that
conspiracy!
seems to indicate that you have some unpacking to do of some serious pent-up issues.
There is some serious corruption within the Angular Knights, and I fear that we are being sent to a place that is...
Then what the hell are you doing here? Turn your ass around, get back to the Angular Knights, and get to the bottom of what's going on. You gotta trust your feelings.
I've been given an order!
No one can tell you to do anything except yourself. How many times are I gonna explain this to people? Why does it not come so natural to us as it ought to? You, Syzygical, Cabalist, goodness. Just, did you tell anybody about your theories of corruption? You're probably not the only person thinking that.
I've been thinking a lot as I've been journeying, and I have put it together on the road.
Don't think too hard, you might hurt yourself.
Damn. Bobert is on fire right now.
He says, well, some of us are going to get to the bottom of this,
Yeah, sounds like it. That's what I want to hear, Daedrian.
and we're going to root out whatever connection there is between the Angular Knights and the Jade Colossus and Thukuera. I'm going to figure it out, with or without the help of you! And storms out.
Whoa, no, stop.
Wait, I was gonna say,
Joe
I have one more question
not
for
intending
him.
on letting people
Okay.
out of this room until perimeters are secured.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. But I guess, do I need to physically stop first?
Yeah, it's not going to be that hard, though.
Does it involve might?
Yeah. Or,
No.
or speed.
Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna try to throw my body at him as fast
Okay.
as possible because
You could
I only
step in
have
front
speed.
of it.
Yeah.
I only have
More
speed.
of
Okay. Go for it.
I'll use.
no
And
money.
if you've got like athletics or something like that you're trained
I'm
in.
trained in running and jumping.
Running.
Jumping.
I'll say, I'll say running.
Do not bring jumping into this.
Don't jump.
No jumping for Joe.
I'll ease it for
Trained in
running
it, but I only rolled
because you're getting there. You're getting there quickly.
Okay,
I vote for jumping.
I will use 1 tier of effort.
Okay.
It's a 12.
Yep. You leap to your feet and interpose yourself between the door and him.
We're not done, Adrian.
Yeah, you're finally talking in a way I understand and can appreciate and respect. Now you sound like someone worthy of calling themselves Knight Defender.
You hear the audible sound of his like gloves tightening.
Go on, sit down. Go get back in the chair. I won't mind.
I see no point in continuing this conversation if you will not help me on my quest.
Well, now I might help you because you told me that you're going to get to the bottom of this, and that sure sounded like it came from the center of your own true will. That's all I'm after, Daedrin. It's not that complicated. If you're going because you want to go, then I can help you out.
I just don't know what to do.
Hey.
The Sea Kingdom of Gan is falling apart. The octopods are invading.
Well, we might have a solution for that. Temporary, anyways.
How am I supposed to believe that?
Well, it's not with me.
We have the battery.
We got a battery replacement.
I don't think he knows. I don't think he knows what you're talking about. Yeah, like
There's a
Yeah,
generator, there's a quest, there's
Yeah.
a battery, we have it. That's all you need to
I don't think it's public knowledge.
It is
The
now.
protecting barrier that Ladon has. Yeah, I think
It's
he's.
now public in this room.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you explain it to him, and he says, "Well,
those exact words are all.
I can't believe you just let the self-serving.
He's gonna
It
be
is very
okay.
good
Idiot.
that Patsy and Orion are in this room.
Bobert believes in him.
So that's
very
sad.
different if we were there." Just shoving him down on the ground.
We gotta kill him, Bob.
With a boot on his neck, just like, all right, like put
Bad cop, murder
the
cop.
kind of the kind of stuff that put Batman to shame. All right, I'm gonna ask. Have you when did you last receive word from Ladon? Have you received word from my father? Is everything all right?
Last I heard, this whole octopod invasion was his fault.
But what's the state of the city? Is it in ruin?
About that.
What's going on there right now?
The octopods will come in the midst of the night and strike and steal people and bring them down
Like literally
to
tomorrow
their
night.
to their doom, huh?
No,
Literally tomorrow night.
in the night.
Oh, in the night.
yeah.
So they've been doing this.
They randomly are just doing these like tactical strikes that they're kidnapping people, but they're all important people. They're not just like kidnapping random people. Like your father is a professor of
So have you
Numenera
heard?
studies and whatnot. You
That's
know.
what I'm saying. Have you heard from him? Like, does anyone know what his last whereabouts was? How long is it? If he's missing, how long has he been missing?
I think last we had talked, we were going on this idea of that like you saw him get captured, right? And then you were like kind of cowardice in the moment, and like you could have stood up and like were we kicking that around?
I left before
Okay,
that whole thing was.
then that's news to you that he's been captured.
Yeah, they stormed the room, and in a moment of weakness, I fled.
Yeah,
I have my own reasons. I'm gonna turn it up to cowardice for now. At least that's what I'm telling people. But I ran, and so I want to know what's going on. Is the kingdom in ruins? Like, is it still standing?
it's still standing, but important intellectual figures within the kingdom are being captured, and it seems like there's no hope to solve any of these problems with kind of key minds being taken.
Is the king still there?
The king is, highly defended.
Supposedly. Okay. All right.
And trade routes are doing okay.
So there are safe passages. I'm actually asking not you, the GM, but like Daedrian.
Yeah, Daedrian. Knight Defender Daedrian.
If you really want to redeem yourself, why don't you help us by telling us what would be the safest route to getting to Ladon? Personally, I don't really like the Angulan Knights because they happen to be so apolitical. Where were they when the kingdom was being attacked? I never received word that they were helping us.
We're facing a crisis of faith with Thukur, who is left and right cursing us.
That doesn't matter to me. Like, people, if you say you're going to defend humanity, why don't you put your teachings where your mouth is and actually come help humanity who's being attacked by non-humans?
How are we supposed to do that when our very faith is rejecting us?
Perhaps the fact that you are abdicating your role as defenders of humanity is why the Sea Drakes? Is that what they're called? The Sea Drakes are abandoning you.
It's like XI.
Z.
XI. I was saying
Drakes,
C, and I was thinking, like, why do they have wings in this world?
Yeah. they're probably.
I was like, fins. Z. I would say
two out of 2 French majors approved.
Oh, I was thinking inflection.
I've heard him spoke for me. I do not know that I had my approval.
Oh, you would of course approve of how disgusting they were They acknowledged that French is a hideous phonetic language, despite its popularity.
It's beautiful and hideous at the same time.
French is hideous?
Like a Waffle House meal.
Okay,
I thought it was the language of drunk people.
To Waffle House.
They just add a bunch of letters in and they don't pronounce them. They just drop off a bunch of stuff.
Just like Waffle House.
Yeah.
Exactly like Waffle House.
This episode brought to you by Waffle House.
Oh, that would be awesome if we were sponsored by Waffle House.
I would definitely put in a commercial break.
I do not eat there, but I would definitely be sponsored.
Scattered, smothered, and covered. I mean, let's do those.
Smothered, covered
and peppered.
And dropped on the floor.
And picked up and... no.
That
That would never happen.
Cash Cash was just SmackDown.
Sorry, yeah.
No, we'll actually have to clap. It's too much.
For once, one piece of approval. For once.
Yay.
This guy seems like he's kind of crumbling under the pressure and has no idea how to speak on behalf of his organization. He's mostly tangled in this kind of own personal crisis that he's going through. Like, I have lost my authority. Like, he's like, I am no longer a knight.
The only person who can give yourself authority is you.
You wanna see change.
Bobert wisdom.
Such a Bobert thing to say.
Yes.
Bobert wisdom.
If you want to see change in your organization, you need to stand as an example for the rest of your group. Help us out, redeem yourself, and perhaps your Z-Drake will come back to you.
What are you trained in today?
The jet. Plot.
I'm trained in plot.
Plot is answered.
Persuasion?
Actually, no, never mind. Wait, do I have a thing in persuasion?
I think it would still be the same as what you were trained in before, because it hasn't been a new day yet.
Geology.
Geology?
Writing and geology.
Yeah.
So evidently, I probably would have an easier time with a Z-Drake than he would right now.
You're persuading him to get a good direction to get into Ladon.
I would like to not necessarily barter, but I would like to appeal to his personal code of ethics and humanity, or at least care for his fellow humanity, to guide us to the safest through the safest passage to the city of Ladon.
All right, give me a roll. Intellect.
I actually want to
Use your pen.
Persuasion.
All right, ready?
We have a pen here.
11.
All right.
What? That doesn't actually have 20 numbers on it, does it?
Yeah, it does. It's a
Around the
functioning
outside?
D20.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Which, if it's not street legal, then I will use an actual D20.
I mean, I don't care.
I mean, Ava's
uses
in the
her
chat.
ring.
She's got her ring.
Yeah, she has a
She
ring
would
that she
be
always
should
rolls.
be completely outraged if it didn't count.
Yeah, she does crit an awful lot with it, but I think that might just crit.
I got a 19.
It's just
She
Ava. It has
crits.
nothing to do with what she rolls.
Is that from Critical Role? I'm guessing.
No, Ava's one of the players at our Wednesday night table who's been with us for years.
50% of her rolls are.
And has an crits more than anyone that I've ever met. Hence the name She Who Crits.
Yeah.
It's an epic.
Yeah, he gives you some good
And
deets
deserted.
Get them deets, son.
on the
ready
way,
to
the
write
way
it
to get
down.
in. I don't have them.
Okay, so
Let's be clear.
Make a note that you've got a good path into Ladon.
You got a good path into Ladon.
I gotta go.
Like an acid? Like an asset?
An asset.
On getting into the top?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Any roles involved in getting into Ladon, yeah. That's a great.
I don't need to glimpse any outsides right now.
No.
We got this.
Alright, do you guys want anything else out of this?
I think
schmo?
Bobert has planted a seed of wisdom in Dadrian's heart.
I would tell him everything that I could about the Jade Colossus. It sounds like the ramblings of someone who is in an altered state of mind, very lyrical and poetic, but probably not helpful, really.
Yeah. And you're sharing
Just
about
a lot of
that.
axioms.
You're sharing about that journey, and then also like where you went after that, and how you got to Bodrov and all that. He interrupts you at a certain point and is like, "Don't you feel like it all just sounds like maybe part of some kind of conspiracy to take away our power as knights? To send us on this quest to this particular place that will rob us of our desire to be a part of the organization?"
On one hand, he does make like kind of a convincing, probably plot relevant idea. But I mean, you traded a Drake for freaking lightning powers. I feel like you came out on top on this one.
Okay, Cash, thank you.
I was speaking
yeah.
this movie. Do not miss.
That's so hard to tell.
I know.
That's why this.
That's why I'm excited. I'm excited for Sunday because I got a really clear understanding of what this.
What specifically did Dadrian just say? Would you mind repeating it to me?
Sorry.
Don't you feel like it is some conspiracy coming from within the Angular Knights to if people are cursed and their penance quest is to go to the Jade Colossus, and you're not the only person who's had an experience similar to this where they've left the Jade Colossus after completing their quest and they've completely forgot the fact that they were Angular Knights and have had no interest in returning to them, and then they've become outlaws of the Angular Knights, and they're no longer they achieved their penance quest, but they have no desire to be the Knights anymore.
Oh yeah, that does sound like a conspiracy.
There we go.
I mean, there are some philosophical side notes that I would tack onto that, but the important part I think that you're getting at is I'm headed to Ladon. I have other stuff to do, but it might be a good idea if they see their 200 Shin bounty turn himself in.
Oh! Stay tuned for episode 10.
But Dadrian, you gotta promise me something.
What is that, Bobert?
You just listen to you.
Bobertisms.
Don't let this pull you down.
Bobertisms.
Okay. I think I need a drink.
Dadrian.
Unless the Jade Colossus is manipulating us.
The end of the world is coming.
Yeah, that's true.
You definitely need a drink.
But let's go downstairs because I don't know how much I got left in there. There's probably like just one swig's worth and multiple different bottles.
Yeah, right. It's just like the dregs of each one.
Yeah. Narla and Fesh probably came by to finish some of these off in my absence.
Now clean yourself
So
up.
let's go downstairs.
What's happening downstairs? You guys have a moment
Get
before the rest of the
proper
group
drinks.
shows up.
What was the question you left me on?
How did you figure out that he was he started to
Yeah, I had suspicions. As much. You know why they call it the Cabal of Whispers, Patsy?
The Jade Colossus is a low price 24-hour primarily breakfast focused restaurant that can be
Excellent.
found everywhere in the South.
Yeah.
In the South, it can be found everywhere. It's not in the North.
What do they have
I
in the
had never
north?
heard of it. Denny's.
Oh,
Yeah, moon's over my hammy.
yeah. They have two kind of Denny's up north though. They got the good Denny's and the bad Denny's. There's always two in every town.
Yeah.
The good and the bad ones.
Same with
True.
the Waffle House.
No, they're all bad.
They're okay. Never mind. I
All right, what's
baggage from our past.
You know why they call it the Cabal of Whispers?
Well, I certainly have my
Denny's
theories.
It's because the whispers represent secrets. Secrets, knowledge, power. I suspect that Desire knew many secrets that he didn't let on to. He kept his cards held close. We're all careful to share our secrets within the Cabal, aren't we?
But we're not in the Cabal, are we?
Not anymore. What is it you think you saw, Patsy?
Loaded.
You're as privy as I am to the echoes that occur in Shadowmoss. They haunt not only you and I, but they haunt the rest of the Cabal and everyone who lives there.
Just get over and fuck already. Alright, now
Gallo styles?
I'm getting so blue balled right now. Just oh my god!
You're gonna tell me right now what part you played in my father's death.
I held the blade. But I didn't know he was your father then. I didn't know you. You weren't in the Cabal yet. And what you told me of him, how he treated you, how he treated your mother, seemed like past that didn't need to be dug up, Patsy. Some stones are better left unturned.
Oh, he's saying he did you a favor.
Patsy,
How is this wine? Is it to your own liking?
Fuck off!
Yeah, you probably did reflexively puns.
the lines, the vertical lines,
Yeah.
punches.
Yeah, you guys both just clock him in unison. That would be the real.
Uppercuts.
That's just my
His
job.
rubber
My
forehead,
job
like,
as a GM.
Yeah.
I'm glad you did it and
Cut that. When one of your other players out of character looks like they're gonna pass out from emotion, cut the tension. That's your job as the
With a
GM.
knife.
Yes, with a synth steel pair of scissors.
you know, I don't have to be running from the Cabal. In fact, I could make it quite far in the Cabal. These idiots hide behind masks. I could play them all. Any day. Every day. For a long time, I've had the ability to manipulate people, even machines. So I need to know right now. Patsy considers using one of his fast talk abilities on Orion, but chooses not to.
It had to be noted, though.
Yeah, that was,
Yeah, I was like,
narratively significant.
how meta.
I'm in. I'm sure you could.
Yeah, you guys would just roll off.
I'm not gonna
It's
roll.
because he doesn't want to. 'Cause that's not.
I'm still disappointed the cipher hasn't been used yet.
That's exactly
Terst.
why.
Toast up.
Why am I trusting this? Why am I trusting you? Why am I here?
Where else are you gonna turn, Patsy?
Oh.
No, I've always had your back, and I always will.
This is some abuser shit right now.
You're telling me you've always had my back and you killed my father and haven't mentioned it. You better start talking.
What good would it have done? The man you hated? The man who beat your mother?
You're telling me I walked in to face Desire with Bobert at my side, and he knew who I was. He knew me. You didn't tell me that shit.
I didn't know he knew you. I had no way to know this. I was simply his bodyguard.
As he slams his hand down on the table really hard.
How much do you really think Desire tells his meat shield?
Meat Shield, you were his number one.
I was his number one because I got the job done. That's it.
Patsy is unintentionally returning rings around.
What you doing with those rings, Patsy?
A man with a suit of armor walks down the stairs and settles the bar next to you guys. He glances over and sees how tense the situation is and then moves over a seat.
Yeah.
Clarification: is this Daedrian or is this just another guy?
Yeah.
Oh, we were coming with Daedrian, right?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, does he have like a comb over kind of thing?
Yes.
Yeah, comb over, yeah.
Green tipped hair, but it's black, slicked and black and green tipped on the edges. I'm just
He's a
imagining.
blonde.
I feel like that's too much character,
He's a
yeah.
blonde.
I definitely see him as being blonde.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
it's just more of like a gross pretty boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think the haircut works.
I'm just imagining that character from oh god, what is that movie called with Lulu in it? Fifth Element.
Fifth Element, yeah.
Yeah, that guy who has like the comb over hair. I'm just imagining he's like that.
With the metal head.
He didn't have that.
Well, in any case.
When I think of like gross, like well put together hair, that's what I think of.
Maybe we did all come down the stairs, but we stopped in the staircase because we could perceive it.
Yeah.
yeah.
We come down when Patsy's turning his ring
No,
around.
you're out of
That's
character.
wrong.
Say
We
that
just stop.
if your character enters right now, my character will be his character. So just emotionally speaking.
I like to think I was not reading the room well and someone grabbed me.
Yeah,
Grabbed onto his collar.
It's the classic, like when you put the brakes on hard and throw your arm out to stop the person in the passenger seat. Double that Bobert style.
Okay, cool.
Bobert is not into walking into other people's personal conversations.
You got the black, the fucking black man.
Cash, I'm not covering your mouth.
Cash is covering his own mouth. Honestly, realizes that he shouldn't be talking, but has to anyway.
Okay.
I think we.
Here it is, Patsy. I lived my life for other people for a long time. I did what I had to do to survive. I'm not always proud of my past. And it was your friendship. It was the love of Prisma that reminded me that I have my own path to write. And what I did to your father Was it the orders of desire? It was for my own survival. It was before I knew you. I did many things at many men's words, but finally now I'm acting on my own. I'm not going anywhere, Patsy. And I need your help to get Prisma back.
If battle lines are drawn, I'm kind of wondering who would pick what side.
Patsy has stopped messing with his rings and is gripping his hands so tight that it's doing the blood is.
Yeah, your fingernails are cutting into your palm of your hand.
Mm-hmm. But finally, at the last statement, releases his hands and just sort of slumps down, drunken at the bar. Was probably half drunk before we even got here somehow from carrying his own liquor.
Adrenaline was keeping you sober.
Yeah. I almost got us killed. Bobert and it wasn't right for me to walk us in there. I don't know what I was thinking. We should have died then.
I don't know what you were thinking bringing Bobert in there either.
I thought I could fool him. I thought I could get some information. I thought we could. I don't care that you killed my fucking bullshit of a dad. I just gotta know you're on my side.
You can always trust me, Patsy.
Now kiss.
At least hug. They never hug in the movies.
Patsy's head just hits the bar, just
Hold
hands
your brother in arms.
And
yeah, I certainly give you the hand on the
There we
shoulder,
go.
kind
That's
of
all I
like,
need.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
And then I'm also like, you gonna drink that piss? The drink you got in front of you. Orion takes your drink and throws it down.
Okay, Bobert now feels like it's okay to resume motion down the staircase.
Showtime!
Also, it's 8:20 if we want to take a break. Might be a good time to...
Do you guys want to accomplish anything else in Bodrov? I know that's a
I want to
kind
rest.
of loaded
I want to
question.
ruin this moment.
Rest. Yeah.
All right, you guys rest, and in the morning, set off on your journey west further, and you are traveling with. I'm getting to a hook for the.
Can I get some
A cliffhanger.
Can I get a D20 and a D6? I gotta. Or is it you use a D6 for each level of resting, right?
A D6 for each. Yeah.
So did we do only one thing of resting if we rested the entire night, or?
When you rest for the entire night, you just spend all the rest of your rests and you start fresh.
Oh, cool! I got 4 then. So
Yeah.
Roll up.
You know what though? I will skip my 10-hour rest in order to wake up in time to go work opening shift in the tunnels.
You can just keep the rest. That's fine. Yeah.
Rewarded for doing good.
I guess I can make you roll some kind of might roll. This is the equivalent of toughing it out.
It's a critical failure.
You sprained your ankle or something.
You don't get that last roll. You use it, but you don't get a.
Okay. Cool.
Is that going to mess you up a lot? No.
Topped up,
Not
ready
bad.
to go.
I contemplated using XP, but I feel like this is accurate.
All right, you guys set onto the road. You go down the mines of Bodrov and set foot westward. You can kind of see Bodrov is a little bit to the east of where the yellow and the red path meet. The group went a little bit differently than the route I had kind of drawn up. which is great. But they set foot west and they travel for a day or so, and then arrive at the dot where the yellow and the red lines intersect, which is the village of Darius, who very dedicated fans and the players at the table would recognize as the village of the prologue adventure.
Where's Darius?
It actually isn't on the map.
Okay, I'm like,
But it's roughly like here.
It's a little bit to the west. Yeah, right there. It's along the river.
I'm like
west of
along the
Bodrov.
river.
Yeah,
Kinda hoping that we have some cameos.
from those characters.
Yes.
Perhaps. But as you're approaching Darius, you find that it is
On fire!
fire.
Oh shit!
And there is smoke rising from several of the buildings that are on fire, and
What
further
a great
into,
image.
further into the westwood, there are two huge columns of smoke rising up from the dense woods of the westwoods, and the westwoods are like Pacific Northwest, like redwood forest. So it's this massive forest, and you're seeing these smoke clouds, these billowing up through the top of them.
Really hope Mentalk is okay.
Oh shit! And we'll find out what that's all about when we get back from the break.
Come back!
We're gonna
stay tuned.
We're gonna stand up and stretch and have more
And breathe.
Some of us are
libations
gonna
and use
probably
the,
just go run in the yard for 10 minutes.
yeah.
Really hot in here.
Get some
It's
lightning
been
out.
getting heated, like both literally and like narratively.
Good roleplay, man. That was great.
Well done.
We're still
That was too good, actually. That was like lethally good.
Gandalf, I mean, slaying the Balrog and taking all the XP and then coming back later to be like, I am Gandalf the White, I've leveled up and prestiged into the White.
Which is exactly what I would do as a person.
Why does it have to be a white, though?
No one's gonna want to play in your party, Daniel.
You have been after me tonight.
No. No, I have not.
Bobert has.
Bob Fia has. Okay.
Bob Fia?
Okay, well, I can't tell the difference.
Bobafina? Is that your true name? Bobafina? I just figured it out.
Mr. Babadina.
I knew it! I always knew it. Theory still holds water. Bobbert is pulling the wool over all of our eyes. It's a fake ass
Yeah,
name.
the person with an inability to restrain subtlety, sneaking, and lying is countermonic Chris showing y'all's ass.
Is playing the long game.
Third plot.
Yes.
Plot.
Hey, I've played those characters, and they're difficult to play. The long game is rough.
Agreed.
All right, so we're seeing the flames.
Did you just read Count 'em Monte Cristo or something? There's been a lot of Cristo references.
We're seeing the flames outside of this city. Are we approaching from like the direction of the camera here?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay. I want to. I'm trained in like finding and following tracks, and I know that we're along a road here.
Oh, I get to pick new things. Hold on, while you guys are doing that.
But I want to. I want to see if I can like identify anything about like if there's anything I don't know unique about the tracks that are moving into town. If there's like a bunch of troops or like.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah, something like that. I will use a tier of effort to do it. Finding following tracks. Because I'm vengeful, I'm trained in it. Okay, so I rolled an 11, and I used one, it was eased once. So a 4. Level 4.
You rolled an 11 and it was eased once.
Yeah.
You are looking around, and you're looking for tracks specifically.
Yeah, and I mean, knowing that it's a road, there's definitely going to be a lot of tracks, right? But like, does it seem like there's troops that marched into this town, or tracks of anything that just seem like out of place or strange?
Yeah, you're doing your Aragorn thing where you're like finding all the different broken blades of grass and the twigs and
Orc
whatnot.
blood is my favorite.
Yeah,
where
licking-
you're like, you know that shit is toxic.
Yeah, don't do that, dude. Don't do that. And you're getting the picture of people fleeing this village in a hurry.
Yeah, so
not like packing up wagons and leaving, but like running in all directions from this village. And then you're finding those footprints end, and you see the person slumped and dead against one of these huge redwood trees.
Oh, jeez. One of the people that fled the village.
Mm-hmm. And
what seems to have killed them?
Give me. Well, you don't have to roll. It seems like some kind of blunt.
I'm like kicking him over with my boot.
Also, today I am trained in jumping and philosophy.
Excellent. Jumping and philosophy.
Perfect.
Noted.
Killer combo.
Maybe
Yeah,
he will
philosophy
roll
might
that
come in handy today.
I think also you guys all get 2 XP for incredible, joyous roleplay in that last.
What are we getting?
2 XP.
XP.
Everybody gets 2 XP.
Oh, sweet. I was like, I didn't earn that. Those two guys did.
No,
You said serious
everyone
stuff.
wants-
Cash
yeah.
Cash came and smacked down
Yeah.
like you got Bobert.
You called that guy in his ethical nonsense.
I called the.
You called him in.
The
You called him
knights.
out, and then you called him in.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Better watch out.
Thanks, Keith.
I got a few more surprises.
Indeed. So it appears like this figure has been. They've had their head crushed by a rock, and you actually find the rock nearby and can kind of tell the trajectory. It was flung at a high speed, struck the person in the head, and they died from the trauma of it. And the rock is like 20 feet away, covered in blood and
This person was killed here.
bits of skull.
And it just seems like a villager.
Where are the rest of us in relation to Orion, by the way?
In the same, I mean, we're along the road, and I like went down to start checking out tracks, and then I followed just off the road this body of this person.
Okay, I didn't know if we were all there, and you were like, "Oh my god, I found a body!" And you know, we're over here like, "Dude, just poke it." You know what I mean? I can't figure out if we're like in the same vicinity.
You're near enough.
Okay.
If you want to be there, you're there. Yeah, we're all in a group traveling down the road together.
Okay.
I'm off to the side of the road, but
I have a bad feeling about going in this.
Bobert is running to see
Other
how
people
close
can
he
investigate
get
if
to
they-
the city. As Patsy says that.
What is Bob?
Where's
As you said, I
the
have a
body in
bad
this
feeling
map?
about going in this place. Bobert is making a beeline to the place.
Oh my
to
God.
See how close he gets.
Let's see here.
So we're right. Oh, he's on the tree. Okay, so we're.
I mean, you guys are like a little bit further out of the town. You're like over here or something.
I'm going to use an ability. I'm going to. Obviously, it's on fire, but I'd like to assess danger, and I'm trained in that.
Wait, I'm trained too, and I would like to assist you, giving you an
Nice.
asset on the task. Or 2 assets? I can't remember the rules.
I think
for
if we're equal,
if you're equal
then you
or
get
better, then
a
you
plus.
get 1.
So
But it's a
equals.
+1 to the roll, right? Not a.
You might be
roll.
right, actually. I don't recall.
I think that's what Void Effigy
What's the
told
skill
us.
again?
So we're
Assessing
talking about
Assessing danger.
Got it.
yeah, assessing danger, but we're talking about what happens in the case that
Of like an aid other.
yeah.
I would like to jump over the fence. Kidding.
Yeah, it's just a +1 bonus to the
Wonderful.
Yeah. If you, but unless you're.
I think in the new rules they're saying if you're equally trained, then you provide an asset, so
Yeah.
you make it easier. Yeah, it's more than just a +1. It actually shifts
Okay.
it.
So I'm
So you
I'm
wanna go
leaning
with
in
that?
and
Yeah,
The asset,
I
okay.
think that's
also
better, yeah.
nudging Joe.
But there's a
to,
limit, like to how many people can
Give me
can help.
Give me a. This place looks a little frightening. I don't think it looks frightening at all. Actually, I've decided it's fine.
Did you get a 1?
Yeah, I rolled a 1.
Alright.
Give me that GM intrusion. I need more juice in my life.
You're over there thinking like, man, must be a grease fire or something. Somebody's burning the chicken today.
Damn. That's rough. So I'm assessing danger.
Okay.
Woo, that one.
You're assessing danger.
Your god has arrived.
Yes.
We were just talking about you.
Just in time to call out the nat 1.
Yep.
Great.
You're assessing danger and kind of stepping backwards and looking over the whole place, and then all of a sudden the ground slips out from under you, and you fall into a hole, and you take 3 might damage as you tumble and compress your body down and tumble down this weird hole. I feel like the last several GM intrusions have been people falling in holes.
They have,
Hey,
but that's okay.
holes are great.
If it's relevant,
Yeah.
then it's relevant.
How deep is the hole? Do we know this?
Sure.
It is it's about 5 feet deep, and then the ground kind of past. There's definitely something that was burrowing through this that was pretty large. Not as big as the Pink Death, but about bigger than man-sized. But the hole only goes so far, and then it the tunnel collapsed in on itself because it looks like it's not super fresh on the hole.
throw down a
So
rope.
the first thing that y'all, before you can act, you see a little stream of smoke just sort of come up because I'm lighting my cigar.
Get out your extra dimensional chair and
I'm just.
Better get comfortable.
Have 24 hours
5
for
feet
Patsy.
deep. If you get on top of your extra-dimensional chair, you can
climb out of it.
probably make it out.
So I'm investigating this, I guess. Does it lead anywhere?
It seems like it goes deeper into the ground, but the tunnel has kind of collapsed since then. In the way that gopher holes and whatnot, you're I can tell there was a gopher hole here,
Yeah.
but it only goes so deep before the ground had.
That's a big gopher.
Yeah, bigger than a man-sized gopher.
This is a little weird. Get me the fuck out of here.
Patsy,
I puff up my
Orion's
chest.
reaching down.
Yeah, I threw a.
You see his familiar.
Oh, you guys do that
gauntlet in
arm.
hand,
Oh yes.
reach down.
Yes.
And then
And the flex.
in
And the
the
close up on the
animated version
arms.
of Colossus,
The Predator,
no,
like
it's just
Arnold
a
and
flashback for like the next 15 minutes.
Yeah.
A conversation
Oh my
that just happened.
But when I pull him up, he falls on top of me.
Yes, you roll around in the mud a little bit.
Thank
Just
you,
a little,
Josh.
just
Thank
a
you for
little.
that fan service.
Yeah, you're welcome.
my head too.
Gallo Styles fan service.
Down.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Sorry. More tongue.
Yeah, your knees in my mask.
That's right.
Yep. Meanwhile, the crackle and the pop and sizzle of the village.
I ran to the village while this was happening to see. I want to try to like scout for a safe way in, I guess.
That's what we were doing.
Yeah, but you were doing it far away, and you
death.
got to have won.
You're just riding the lightning in.
Oh yeah.
Bobert, wait!
Looking around, I got a 14.
Excellent.
Sprinting in.
Now that's how that would sound.
I wouldn't necessarily go in, but I would at least find a way that was like, this would be a
This
stable way
place
to
is
get
not
in
on
and out.
fire.
You're like using
Yeah,
your electrical
not yet.
skateboard to like you know,
Oh, I
coast
wish.
around.
That costs too many intellect
Oh,
points.
excellent. Josh has got some burning stuff going on here.
Baller.
Glorious.
Yeah, I don't know if
Perfect.
it's gonna turn out on the stream. It might just sound like nonsense rumbling in the background.
like crackling, but yeah, this
Let us
is
know, stream.
We just
vote.
announced it was fire, so.
this is thanks to
There's so much
Sirenscape.
fire.
Check them out.
Sirenscape.com.
I should say not necessarily thanks. I mean they're wonderful and incredible, but we pay for the service.
Thanks for letting me
Make
purchase
sure
things
to
from you.
make sure to check them out. Yeah, they produce incredible content, and it's all Creative Commons licensed, so we're able to use it on the stream and on our YouTube archives, which you should also check out.
Good.
Do I have a link? Well,
If you'd
I
like
think
to
it's
hear
in
more about
this.
it, find our session on Thursday.
And if you can't find any of these things, go to our Discord and find the links there.
Wow.
Did we
Really-
get all of
And if you can't find it there, then email us directly.
And if you can't email us, send us a letter
Snail mail.
It's a PDF attachment.
to a PO box that we will
We don't have
find.
yet.
We'll get
on
get
it.
one.
P.O. box.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. You get a PO box and you can say, "Hey guys, send us in materials of stuff you want to see."
Everything.
And then they
fan
can
art.
send us, like,
Everything.
stuff.
Fan art. We'll
I was
take it all.
I mean, spoiler alert, I would send things to them.
I'd have to check it just because Sophie's sending stuff to it. It's
Every
like,
day, I love checking the mail.
Damn it, it's full again.
Full
Full
again.
70 things.
all right, so you sprint into the village, and you find very quickly that there doesn't seem to be any source of danger. Whatever has happened here has come and gone, and these are the remnants of perhaps like a kettle that was just kept burning until eventually a curtain drifted into it and lit a building on fire, is the impression you get. But there are people all over the place
Yes.
who have been killed by blunt force trauma by objects that seem to have been hurled at them at high speeds.
Yeah, something ain't right about this scene.
We gotta check for survivors.
I would like to scan.
You sure we shouldn't just get out of here?
No. What do you see?
Standing.
I think it's just a 10-foot, like it's a small.
I mean, look at
It's
these
only I can only
I
scan
fucking
10 feet.
crushed.
All right. Well, I want to scan that freaking hole, dude.
Okay.
I'm more concerned with the hole here.
Excellent. All right.
That's clearly the aftermath, but there's a bit more to that mystery.
Give me a roll with intellect, and you can use effort if you so choose.
And for flavor, I'm like, Bantok, are you down there?
yeah.
Next time you end up in an explosion, why don't you stand there and tell me not to come see if you're still alive, Patsy?
Hang on, it's right on the easy.
It's cracked.
Oh, it's a 7.
But
I use effort.
A 1.
No, I didn't declare it. That doesn't count. So I have a 7. We were just like,
But wait, did we
This thing
decide
was
whether scan
definitely.
means a roll?
Yeah, I think it was kind of more information that I would give. Yeah,
Scan.
everything. I think everything requires a roll.
gotcha.
But because he's spending points Like he's getting more information than he normally would from just like looking. Yeah.
Okay.
Just making sure.
Kind of my understanding is I'm trying to like find out like what made the hole. That's what I'm worried.
It was definitely an extra dimensional creature.
How extra dimensional? How many dimensionals is it extra?
Three plus.
How many?
Three
extra
plus, so it's
dimensions?
6 dimensionals.
It's from a different dimension.
Hepta.
It's ultra-dimensional?
Hepta-dimensional.
Heptagonal.
So it's an ultra beast.
Yeah, something like that.
It's a Pokemon reference.
Ultra beast.
I didn't play it.
I bet the hoodies would got it.
Oh.
Did the hoodies get it?
They know about physics.
Yeah.
Fork,
and
yeah.
Pokemon.
And
They got
Pokemon.
science, they got
And
The
Pokemon.
2 great P's.
Also, I'm training philosophy.
Excellent. Noted.
I'm trying to, from a philosophical perspective, trying to figure out what thing would be possessed.
It didn't fall over. Not a negative one.
Yeah, it was an extra dimensional creature, and it was moving at pretty high speeds through this burrowing.
So,
And it was
what's its method of
clearly
burrowing?
intelligent.
Can it like just phase through and it's just like destroying the matter as it's going through it, or is it like
That's a
clawing away at it, digging, or
That's a good question.
That's kind of what I'm more interested in.
What is it? What's on the other page?
So Mind Flayer, I'm gonna take 3
course it
guesses. Mind Flayer, or Mind Flayer.
Oh, dude, I cannot wait to philosophically like
Neophelid.
I don't know, incapacitate.
Just drop that in there to keep it fresh.
I'm not really sure what method it uses to burrow, but yeah.
Okay, I'm just trying to gain more information on what it is. All we know is it's extra dimensional. It's at least 6 dimensions.
It seems almost the equivalent of like doggy paddling through water, right? Like it seems almost like it was digging very rapidly with many hands.
So is it proficient at doing this, or is it just like okay? So I guess I'm like, I got a
It's just how
bad
it lives and
feeling about
travels, it's not
this.
proficient.
Like echoing. Who said I got a bad feeling?
Patsy.
I got some echoing Patsy. So I got a bad feeling about this. 'Cause I basically like don't. I don't know what to do with that information. Like extra dimensional. You might.
A gentle reminder that there's an NPC traveling with you guys by the name of Krala Thakur,
Oh,
with his.
you were here.
Wait, Tupac Shakur?
He was waiting outside of Bodrov and
Cool.
reunited with you guys when you left.
That's where Tupac went. To the ninth world.
Indeed. And yeah, as you guys, can we do a rewind? Can we do like a retcon conversation a little bit? Because this would have happened on the way, and it doesn't make as much sense to happen in this tense moment. But Krala rode alongside you, Jophiel, as you guys were journeying, and said.
And I cut Crawler off, and I was like, "Do you know anything about Sequera?
I do not.
Just a lot of extra dimensional things seem to be converging. Go ahead."
Actually, well, I have heard tell of the great Drake spirit. Be told by that name, but it's not one that we worship in. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not doing your character's voice very well. But it is not one that we worship in the lands of the far north. We come close to the land, to the door that you shall lead us through
Okay. Now?
in the Westwood.
Oh.
You will lead us by the prophecy of our shaman into the land of the spirits.
Oh. Of course. How could I forget? How could I forget?
It has been foretold.
Why did no one foretell me?
That is what I do now, is it not?
Yeah, dude, don't kill the messenger.
And then gets very serious for a moment and then says, "Are you serious? You know not of this?"
Don't. Did you think I would?
You have been prophesied to find the glowing key that will burn away the Emerald Knight.
Is that supposed to be a horse?
None of this rings any bell to you?
Well, the Emerald Knight is strange,
It's an otherworldly horse.
but I haven't heard of it per se.
It definitely sounds like it.
It has much to do with this stone that you carry and with the place that it comes from.
Sorry.
All have been foretold to be signs of a great unraveling of things.
How do you feel about the Great Unraveling?
Terribly.
Terribly, you don't want it to happen?
No, and that is why I have gone through great pains and traveled into enemy lands to find you, who has been prophesied to lead us to the key that will burn away that night.
Is it upsetting that I don't know what I'm doing?
None of us really do.
Okay.
As a swarm of bees flying.
Yeah.
So glowing
That was more intense than I thought it would be.
glowing key and a door into the spirit world.
I can show you the door.
Okay, all I have to do is find the key. Okay.
Excellent.
It's great. It's just great.
Did they like go aside to have this conversation?
No, they were just kind of riding.
So like we all could have heard this.
Yeah.
I've definitely heard it.
They might have wanted to fall back. I don't. Is
Nope.
Joe comfortable with everybody?
Yep,
hearing
that just happened.
Patsy's like crackpots.
Well,
Joe just let it hang all out.
Bobert would want to get a read on Joe's emotions. Not Bobert hates overhearing conversations, but yeah. Is there an insight skill that I'm not trained in?
Yeah, it would just be
Probably.
intellect. Unless you're trained in.
Use 1 tier of effort. I got a 13, and he's fine.
Yeah. I think that succeeds, yeah. Unless you're trying to hide it.
No.
Reveal your feelings then.
Joe legitimately has no idea
Yeah.
has never heard of this prophecy before. Is getting a little over inundated in prophecies, but is appreciating that the Gaians are not.
Everybody knows about it.
They're not.
But us! Everybody knows but us!
They're just kind of like sweetly expecting, and they're here and they're supporting us, they're riding with us, they're going to show Joe the door. That's not what's happening with the Philithus. So Joe feels like the two forces are pulling them in two different directions, and a choice is being, a favor is falling towards the Gaian's quest. I guess you wouldn't know this, but Cash, you would know that Joe is sensing some kind of connection, anticipating a connection between the Emerald Knight and the Jade Colossus.
The Emerald Knight.
Knight.
Okay. I don't know if I missed this, but can you remind me about the Emerald Knight?
Well, that's part of what the... Is it Gaians? Am I making that up?
No, yeah,
that's part of what the Gaians are.
Do they worship the Emerald Knight?
No,
or
the Emerald Knight is the threat they're perceiving that they're trying to counteract, or at least part of it.
Did I do your character justice?
You didn't.
The eyes closed definitely went a long way.
It's hard to roleplay with your eyes closed.
I know. I found it very.
I was uncomfortable that
weirdly
whole night.
soothing in a way, though.
I hardly did it. It was so hard.
All right, so that happened in the past. Sorry, I meant to do
So, which means that we all coming in here are knowing that we're gonna be doing something with a door, and
Yeah.
maybe there's a key.
that. And he shared that,
That would
it's,
be great
that
if it
it's,
was here.
It's in the Westwood and knows where to find it.
The door is.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
His
And you're leaning towards the Gaians?
Yes, I there's a very complicated long version of Joe's emotional arc I don't think is covered even by a difficulty level 4 that you nailed.
But you, both want you to go back to the Jade Colossus, though, right?
No.
No?
Not
Gaians
yet.
do not want you to go back?
Giants are trying to get her to the westward. Get
Westwood.
to the westwood.
Get the key first.
The Gaians, I don't think, have an idea of where the key is. That's what Joe is supposed to do in their.
But they're just saying, go find a key and then.
They know where
find
the
door.
door to the spirit world is. Joe, they were finding because it has been foretold that Joe will provide the key of light. Is that it?
Shining key.
And then the
Shining
other
key.
folks, they just want you to go back to the Jade
Shining,
Colossus.
yeah.
Is that it?
Yes.
In a super duper condensed nutshell.
They asked us to close the eye, or to blind the eye, and then when we left, they said, "You're going the wrong way," and refused to really give more details, except that the tasks they had for us were in the Jade Colossus.
Yeah. It's meant to be a little bit confusing.
No,
I know
yeah,
that's not always a good thing.
I'm
but
not upset as a player at all.
As discussed in GMXP.
as discussed in
last night.
GMXP on Thursday nights.
To find out more.
Two
No,
on
and
Thursdays.
it's very compelling for me on behalf of Joe. I enjoy this.
Yeah, that Krala shared with you the tale as you traveled of the shaman of his tribe journeyed into the spirit realm and met himself, and that other version of himself shared a vision of you as kind of this prophesied figure from the normal world that you guys are in, not the spirit world, that would lead them to this. So that's where this prophecy is coming from. It's not
Cool.
necessarily like this big crazy prophecy.
No.
It was mostly just this vision that this
Right.
shaman
Joe
had.
certainly is feeling like a lot of things are connected and places that we can't see.
Yeah. All right. So then you guys arrived at the burning village of Durius outside of the Westwood. He's got this location marked on his map of where he wants to take you to the door. And it's in the Westwood, but
Well,
This building's on fire. There's people dead everywhere.
there's a creature that was burrowing that I assume is responsible.
Yeah, I'm saying we should get out of here.
Well, our job is done.
I
get
think
going.
we should look and see if anybody survived.
No, dude, that guy's dead. We're done here.
That's not the only person in the city, Cash.
All right, fine. Let's give it an hour.
Wait.
1 hour, is that really enough?
We give it an hour.
That's reasonable.
Thinking about using the vocal changer to make my voice project really loudly and just call for victims to give a cry.
okay.
But I don't know. I know it's not how Patsy would have used the vocal changer, but
Joe's not Patsy.
nope.
Took the words right out of
I know
my
how
mouth.
Cash would have done it.
With a silly voice,
I mean,
silly
we
kazoo
could
voice.
also just run through.
Kazoo.
How did you know? I would have wasted a priceless artifact that's been around for millennia just to play some stupid joke. But not even a good joke, it's just a dumb dad joke pun. It's low effort.
Are you gonna do it?
I'm not.
Okay, good. Because I also feel like we should be able to figure out what happened based off of.
Bubble pipes
We need
out.
to do forensics.
Your stalkers on. Okay.
If large blunt pieces of shrapnel are falling on people, I feel like we should be able to conclude with appropriate rolls whence came the whatever caused shrapnel to fly everywhere. I have to take a closer look.
Is it not obvious, Bobert? Clearly this thing is digging holes. Then it comes out
I think
and throws rocks at everybody. Now everyone's dead and everything's on fire.
I find that hard to accept, Patsy.
55 minutes left, by the way.
Alright, fine.
Investigation.
I just want to go
Okay,
back
I guess-
to the 20 intellect not show.
I want to do two different things. I want to, I guess, do the equivalent of like an investigation roll to like try to piece together data that I'm seeing into some sort of logical thing, which is not in Bobert's wheelhouse, but this is what he wants.
okay.
It would be like me being a first responder in an emergency.
You're like, I think I got this.
Unskilled. And then also to be calling and looking for people who don't look like they're dead.
Okay.
If you need help, I can
All right, give me
speak to
two different
Watson.
rolls then. The first for the investigative. Gravity well. The bird has been placed upon it atop a Numenera.
Cracked.
Orion is keeping is somewhat close to Bobert while Bobert's doing this, but keeping a distance enough because Bobert's like yelling out and stuff.
Yeah.
you're keeping
But
an
generally,
eye out.
I'm keeping an eye for whatever's going to try to ambush Bobert as Bobert is screaming out if anyone's there. I've got my hand on my blade, like 10 steps behind him. Bobert the bait.
Together.
All right, 19.
That was my investigation, I guess.
Yeah, these things that have been striking the people have been picked up and hurled at them, but in such a way that you get the impression that there wasn't like someone who walked up to it and picked it up, but it was like a psionic, like telepathic, ripping something off the wall and striking a person in the head with it. Like ripping
Dang.
a bottle off the wall and
I didn't even roll for that
Which
shit.
This
is what I was gonna call it.
almost right. Okay.
What's this roll for?
Finding survivors. It's too late.
I mean, everybody can
Mental's
roll
dead.
for survivors. We're broke up, right?
That's up to you guys.
Orion is following Bobert
Yeah,
because Bobert's
we're doing-
making
A ruckus.
Yeah.
I'll look for survivors.
All right, GM intrusion for Hannah. You just you're shouting, and in some way it kind of is tied to this GM intrusion. But
Anyone? Can you hear me?
anybody,
Is anyone out there?
Hannah, where are you at while this is all happening?
Joe
Fio.
I think that Joe would also be, starting to look for people, but also kind of contemplating a glimpse into the outside, kind of being like looking because Bobert's really concerned, but also thinking about other things.
Well, hold on to that because I'm gonna do a thing with the GM intrusion. As you're
That was totally for flavor. That was not actually.
okay. So as you're searching around and you glance back at the burning house and you see the towering silhouette of the Philithus standing in the midst of the flames, and you hear a voice in your head that says, "You were told not to go to the Westwood."
You're not the boss of me.
Can we all hear this or just Joe?
No, just Joe.
Then Bobber continues shouting distractingly in the background.
And Patsy pretending to look for survivors.
Yeah. Joe turns
Patsy's looking
with
for
a
ciphers.
fierce look and strides straight over to it and says, "Is there something you want to say?"
Yeah, is there something you want to say?
Give me a intellect defense.
Specialized. And since I got 20, I'll go ahead and use an effort.
Yeah.
Please.
Cool, because I got a 9.
It's like, this is my life now.
So
A 9,
specialized
but it's
plus an effort. 3
Specialized.
tiers down.
He tortures us. all the
Excellent.
time, so he can be tortured from time.
And a 9? Yep, that succeeds. It seemed like it was trying to do that strange, like restitching reality to push you back.
Exactly what I saw coming.
But you get close to you're approaching this building and like moving towards it aggressively, and it's drifting backwards, and it just like slips into this bookcase. But it doesn't necessarily seem like it's disappeared. It's just kind of like retreating backwards, and it doesn't think about whatever it's passing through, because reality is whatever to it.
That's true. In the grand scheme of things, reality is like whatever.
Is whatever.
It's whatever.
It's whatever, bro.
Are you gonna pursue it?
I mean, no pressure.
The building is on fire.
Sure.
But it's
Come into the burning building, Jophiel.
Joe's heard this one
have we
before.
determined if like the flames are real? I'm just saying.
Have we touched them?
Question everything. Assume nothing.
They'll just shout. What are you so afraid I'll do there?
It slips back, like just the strange picture frame of it emerges from the bookcase. There are things that should not be seen by disobedient weeds.
I hear survivors. I'm just saying.
You remind me of my grandmother.
I thought I heard somebody going.
I think you'll find that people who try to put me down don't usually get their way with me.
You tread into the Westwood, and you will be derooted from the ground and have no water or earth to feed you sustenance any longer.
Maybe I'm an air plant.
Oh!
Bye, Phil.
Oh!
Bye.
Bye, Phil. Bye, Philothesia.
Crawla is laughing in the distance and doesn't know why.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we hear that, please?
What do you have? Legend of Zelda character?
Yeah, he's an anime character,
Like
definitely.
Happy Mask salesman?
Oh, Happy Mask Man.
It sinks into the ground.
Yeah, thought
That's what I
so.
thought.
That may not be good.
And you got an XP, and you can give one to someone else
Delicious.
for the GM nonsense.
Can we
Be
do
selfish,
Joe's
don't
part
do
of the conversation?
Yeah.
Was that aware?
Yeah, we heard you yelling. into
Yeah,
the-
you heard that awkward, very detailed.
I'm sure that we're kind of like roping. I mean, fire is loud, and it's burning down whole buildings. So
We do have the thing
we
here. if we
probably
wanna be
just hear the.
explain where people are.
Oh.
You know.
What do you think? Did Cash hear?
Sorry.
You built all this terrain.
know.
And there's it's
Joe.
I'm kind of hoping that.
Bobbert, are you like over here checking out this
Oh
tavern?
yeah.
All right, so yeah, I'm following Bobbert as he's yelling out and making a scene.
I'm looking. I'm
acting
looking in
as bait,
some.
essentially.
I'm looking in some
That's
other
what I was
building
thinking too. It was hilarious.
for survivors.
This cat is.
Can I roll to look for survivors?
Cash,
did.
I'm gonna give you the XP,
Okay.
hoping that you'll be able to put it to good use as you pursue your personal quest swiftly and coming.
I was just thinking.
I don't.
You know what? I
I'm
need
not
to like
trained
help
in
you out.
anything for this, but I'm still. What is the? Maybe an intellect or to search.
Yeah.
I'll use
Life is
2
pretty
tiers of effort.
Oh, that's the opposite of not really trying.
It's okay. I rolled a 2, but I used 2 tiers of effort, and I'm looking for people.
Is Is anyone helping him?
I'm busy, I guess.
All right, you guys.
Also, I was intending to sneak off, so
Oh, well then never mind.
Okay.
yeah.
You find someone who's barely alive.
Oh, no.
They are
Good for them.
Oh,
they are
that's you.
they have crawled their way to the shore of the river and are trying to like let the river sweep them away, but they just don't have the strength to just make it in all the way.
Keith.
I'm sorry. Sorry. You rolled poorly.
Who's gonna lay it on?
You rolled poorly. We were talking about this earlier of like failing with a major consequence, right? It's like you found someone who's alive, but they're barely alive. And maybe won't be as willing to give you information as if they were, right?
I think that's just fine with
Yeah,
Patsy.
I don't think information is what Patsy's looking to get from this person.
Patsy, I think, was looking for a little life force snack.
Oh,
Little
jeez.
snack.
Patsy's
Yeah, you didn't realize. Yeah, we're like,
Catch
this
that.
person's like trying to pull themselves in the river to be washed
That
up.
makes it more morally complicated.
Yes, it
then,
does,
yeah.
doesn't it?
I love that we were all thinking that, but Keith wasn't.
Yeah,
Little snack.
this person has been struck in the chest by like some kind of rock or something really big, and so their like rib cage is broken, and they're just like they're just in so much pain, and they're like trying to crawl to the water, and they're just like
Good dick.
Patsy's face changes. My friend,
Oh God.
you okay?
You're over here by the water.
and end it all for me, brother.
Oh. He invited the vampire right in.
Please tell me what happened here.
A foul creature just killed everyone.
A creature? From where?
It came from the ground.
Did you slay it?
It's gone.
Meanwhile, Bobert's yelling out in the background.
Anybody hear me? We're here to help.
What do you?
You're like yelling your life story.
Bobbert!
What do you need? What do you need now?
Lure it out. You're almost loud enough.
I need the end.
You're like attaching
need the embrace
sticks
of
to
death.
Boberts.
End the pain.
They're like, here, this will help attract people.
It's like gasping as the you can hear the weird like sound of the lungs not quite working.
You
got a megaphone?
stumbled into the hands of the right person.
Here comes the embrace of death.
Patsy's normal face returns to him.
The most crocodile of eyebrows. This is perpetual.
As he just starts to drain the life out of this guy.
Patsy!
See, I feel like it made it less morally ambiguous.
Yeah.
It's a win-win.
I mean, if the
He's putting
person,
him out of his misery.
yeah, only because the person asked.
Yeah.
That it was a.
It's
And how and you
consensual.
drain like hit points from them, like from their pool.
Yeah.
Is the idea? Yeah.
Per minute.
Dang.
Like, if
I'll say you get
think about
three from
life
it.
Benevolent
force
game
as
master.
a like slice of like a loaf of bread. There's just one little heel left, and it was just gonna go stale. But Patsy came to eat it,
Mm,
and now it's getting put to good use. Good work,
that's
Patsy.
excellent.
Patsy stands up and smiles. And then takes a few drinks out of the river.
Gosh.
I'm not hand waving this away. This is not cool. Not okay.
Runs back to the group.
Guys.
No.
Your hour's up, Bobert.
Oh, I didn't find anybody. What about you?
Not a soul.
Oh.
Also, I'm specialized in lies, so.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna try. The Bobber has no reason not to trust you.
It seems like he's telling the truth.
Although,
Even if you didn't have plenty of intellect,
maybe-
well,
It's not trust.
It's terse.
I have a pretty even distribution. I was gonna make a threat, but I don't feel like I really have any threatening stats. I was very average.
All I know is that whatever killed these things is probably still around, and we should get out of here.
Yeah, this wasn't just an accident.
It'd be hard to say so.
Well,
Maybe the fire, but not their death.
Joe? Hey, Joe. Joe?
Give me a second. I want to see what happens if I go to the Westwood.
Excellent.
I'm glimpsing the outside.
Cool. Give me a roll. You gonna use effort?
Is this the kind of thing I got a 4 and I didn't quote effort.
That's why I asked.
I know, but I'm so confused still about rolling with our powers because they
Yeah,
already
that
have
is a weird,
costs
slightly strange part.
associated.
Yeah, it's
so
just
I'm
gonna
like,
be more cost.
am I allowed to use effort? Okay.
Mhm.
I can. I didn't.
Okay.
Choices happened.
It's blurry.
Live and learn.
If you go into the Westwood, so you have this moment of seeing the ghosts of all the different possible futures stretch out before you, and you're seeing a bunch of them where you're going, just leaving this place and going to Ladon, and Krala is like shouting after you, like, "What are you doing? Like, you running and whatnot?" And you're like drifting away from those and instead following the routes where you go into the Westwood. And several of them you witness your crew hiking into the Westwood, and you see almost like shots fired from a gun, like rocks and branches being hurled at you guys and people being struck down. You're seeing play out what happened in this village of these rocks hurtling,
us?
yeah, hurling through the air and striking people, and you guys are looking around trying to figure out. And you're seeing several different futures of all of your characters scrambling about in desperation as you're being assailed by a creature that emerges from the ground.
But Orion probably takes a death shot for Patsy in every possible.
Yep. And this creature
What
looks
would
like... Drum roll.
Ooh. Okay. There we have it.
Oh.
What is this thing?
Yeah.
Good news, everyone.
For those at the table, can pass around the image.
I've seen this thing before.
Josh says with disdain.
It emerges from the ground, bursts out from a burrow.
Disgusting.
In the same way that you've seen these other burrows, and immediately it has all of these little tiny hands around it, right? And they're all gesturing in various ways, and there's written glyphs tattooed along its arms that all glow, and just pieces of debris and whatnot all around just start getting picked up and hurled like rocks and tree branches. Tree branches are being yanked and pulled down on top of you guys.
This is all happening in the possible futures, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to be like, whoa! Oh! Do we know if the... oh, no, sorry. Never mind. You're not there.
Joe's seeing all of this.
And each of them all line up in a single booming moment that shakes you from your dream of, "You were told not to go to the Westwood."
Gotcha.
Also, don't be intimidated
It's not bad.
by GMing, because this is monsters talking to you. This isn't Keith being like, "Don't do this! I'm gonna put it in front of you, but don't do it!"
It makes me and Joe want to do it more.
Yeah, right.
This is strengthening our resolve.
Just like when you said, Bobert's not your character's real name, is it? Oh, you have a problem with that name? Then yes, it is.
Yes, it is. What do you mean, don't do it?
We're going
It
to
really
have to
is a
deal with this
snipe.
at some point. We're going to have to deal with it at some point.
Are you like telling all of us that you've seen this thing?
I just tell you we're going to have to deal with it at some point.
Is that all you tell us, or like the whole thing?
That's what I tell you. It's the character and everything. I don't know what else you want.
Clarification.
I guess we just didn't know because you were having this moment to yourself, and then you come out of it and tell us that we're gonna have to deal with this thing.
I was with you.
Thank you.
We've given some good communication. Like 2 people have been like, I got a bad feeling about this, and we're gonna have to deal with this.
I'm sorry.
I forget.
What is it, Joe? What is it?
You can give me a Numenera, not Numenera.
Extra dimensional lore.
Yes, because it is extra dimensional.
How do we deal with it? I guess
I'll
is the
give
real
you
question.
2
Yes.
tiers of effort this time
Yes.
to make up for last time.
Excellent.
Is it?
And that's good because I rolled a 7.
Nice.
I kind of want to know if the hands are like, are they vaguely humanoid looking, or are they clearly creatures?
I'm loving this brain blood.
I'm trying to figure out if like, did it steal? Are the hands like morphed into like from its victims? Like, did it?
No, they're its hands,
Okay.
but they're all. It's highly psionic from her visions, and capable of doing like. From a mechanical standpoint, it's like attacking multiple times in a single round. You guys are all like, you know, I make an attack, I shoot my arrow or whatnot, and it's like things are just flying at you guys.
Get ready for philosophy to shine.
Yes. This is an errant grask, which is a ultra-dimensional creature that is filled with malice and hunger and hatred. They have a command over matter that grants them psychokinetic control over small objects, manipulating things with many tiny hands as a musical conductor directs an orchestra.
That is this.
I've never seen a conductor that's got that many hands. Clearly, I'm not going
Are
to like,
they?
the cool
Do they?
place.
And you definitely get the impression
That is so cool.
that it is connected to the same creatures controlling the Philithus.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah.
I was like,
They're
that
on the
sounds kind
same
of like
side.
a mercenary of sorts that the big bads in the other dimensions send in to just be mindless
Mm-hmm.
creatures of.
Are they mindless
Or
creatures?
why does he have
No, they're
one?
intelligent.
Why does
Highly
he have one?
intelligent. Okay.
Because it's Josh.
What's their motivation?
You're
No, I'll have to roll for
sweet
it.
Yeah.
And he's
baby Jesus.
Dear Lord, baby Jesus.
And Aaron's grass, if that means anything to you, Bobert. But it's really more of a.
I'm sorry, Josh.
precisely.
I bought the miniature and then never put it together.
If you had let me know that it was going to be in this episode, maybe I
sorry.
would have glued it together and painted it. Now it's breaking everyone's immersion.
I see what
Now it's just an unpainted miniature.
This,
Great.
I mean, all
It's
white.
an albino Aaron's grass.
I'm not interested in
guess.
playing anymore tonight.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
we should just
done.
pack up.
I'm done.
I mean,
We'll
if
see
it's
you guys
like,
next week.
Or not, because who knows how
Also,
long I'll be
it looks like
affected
this,
by
but it's not a mind flayer.
It's definitely not a mind. You guys were very
Mind
wrong in calling that it was a mind flare because it's not.
It's not. It's just.
Even though it definitely looks like a mind flayer.
What?
It doesn't suck your brains.
Whatever helps you sleep at night.
Sorry, not sorry. It doesn't eat brains. Doesn't eat brains.
it eats riddles.
Sure. We've yet to see that.
I mean, it probably won't say no to a ring.
3D effect is pretty horrifying.
Yeah,
Cool.
definitely.
Fantastic.
I don't want to meet it.
I mean, it looks like
Exactly
it's
the
all white because
Reaper.
it's phasing through like reality,
Man,
through
so,
the outside.
So freaky.
Okay. I think it's really more of a warning sign, Bobert.
And that is the correct miniature. Like that's a
This is it.
a Reaper,
it
Reaper
looks
mini for
exactly
Numenera.
like
Yeah.
the picture.
Sick.
I'll have it painted by next week.
Baller. As we will have promptly disposed of it by then.
Mm-hmm.
I have utmost confidence.
Me too. What could go wrong?
You want to go into
Absolutely
the woods?
nothing.
Is that what you said?
Hold on. Why are we going into these woods?
Because the prophecy.
Crawler.
Thank you, peanut
That
gallery.
doesn't make sense to me.
You Southlanders.
You Northlanders.
It's on the way.
Not if we get killed. Then it's on no way.
Life has many doors. If we don't explore a few of them, our endless possibilities will begin to narrow. I vote.
Yes, philosophy. Hashtag train in philosophy today.
I vote we go for it. That's only because I have a feeling.
I don't think
would
it's
go
a
for it.
vote for Krala. I think it's a matter of
This village has been ripped to shreds.
the prophecy is a matter of the destruction of this entire dimension, Patsy.
It's really not gonna matter if our petty squabbles get resolved. If all of us. end
Oh,
up
you
in
believe in
oblivion.
this?
He's asking me to take him to the spirit world.
Who is he? Has anyone met this one?
I am Kralakaku.
I was there for that episode. I got a good feeling from you.
Joe. Bobert takes a knee and kneels before you.
Oh, is this the wedding episode?
Robert proposing?
I have a proposal.
What's the Bobber
Well,
Jofiel?
actually, he is proposing.
Bofiel.
Bofiel. Yeah, excellent. Team Bofiel.
Isn't it right the outside?
It's
Sometimes
Bofiel.
that.
It's not Bofiel. It's the outside. Steps into the lightning.
It depends
Ooh, I
on
like
the.
steps into the light.
We vetted all of the options against each other.
Clearly, you did not.
I have receipts.
Oh, I have no idea.
You didn't-
Which one,
you don't-
which
so you
one
didn't
sounds
like
best?
Steps into the
I'm
Lightning?
Not, I'm
Yeah.
not writing the names of the ships.
Oh, good point. You say that like a mind flare wouldn't work in Numenera. What?
It's
Totally
not
would.
about
Don't give
that.
Keith
It's not
that
about
option. We
fucking
will put them
reality.
into the story.
Intriguing. There actually are some creatures that I've like been drawn to and been like, oh, this is great, and then I had the realization of like, it's totally a mind flayer, and everybody's gonna make fun of me because it's totally a mind
Well, I
flayer.
think what you've learned is that
It's
we're gonna
new to
make
me.
fun of you no matter
That's true.
what.
That's true.
I'll back you up.
So just listen to the
You
Bobber
do you.
advice and follow your heart.
Alright, so what does Bobert say? He's on his knee. I have to know.
Find out next time.
You got any need for a bodyguard?
Oh.
I'm no Orion, but I've been trying to pick up some tips. And you're not as hard and high maintenance as Patsy. And I really believe that what you're doing is important because you believe that. And I could really use something to focus on, Joe, and I'd like it to be protecting you.
Swear it.
You pledge your loyalty so freely, Bobert.
That's not false.
Dang.
Played by your own character.
I don't see how
Ruined.
I could refuse you.
Alright.
But there's no need to be officially a bodyguard or anything. After all, if I'm doing this because I want to, you need to do this because you want to.
Oh, Joe.
Power of friendship.
I never wanted something more. Let's go.
Are we seriously considering taking this huge battery into the woods? We're gonna have to find a place to put this shit.
Orion and the battery have a great history, Patsy.
Of rolling well to move it.
You could hurl it across the river. You can also split the party.
I mean, I assume that we have it on like horses or whatever. We've had no problem carrying it from Bodrov to here down the road. I don't really see a problem with going into the forest necessarily. I guess I'm not saying that in character, but
No.
Gallows styles, their relationship will never die. Never say die.
Well, if you're all right with it.
Cash in the rat pack.
Cash in the rat pack.
If you say go, let's go.
Oh yeah.
Steps into the lightning.
I'd like to make an appeal to like.
I'd also like.
Catastrophes.
I'd also like for. Is there a way for me to cause someone in the group to make a perception against me? Like almost like a GM would.
I will always play the fool if you need it.
Are you like trying to sneak something?
I'm
or
just
what?
curious about if anyone saw that I took damage from falling into this hole and then came back from the trip to the.
Oh, if it
No one cares about you, Patsy. Move on.
Yeah, you had your moment. We just assume you took care of yourself.
Does anyone want to possibly catch him stealing that person's energy? Then you can roll for it.
I think he did it super tidy. And hasn't given us any reason to
But
doubt him.
you're saying
I'll smell what you
Patsy came
I scratched my
staggering out of the
ankle,
hole,
and now I'm walking fine.
So you're giving us like if passive perception was a thing,
I'm just
that's
feeling
really
like,
what we would need.
I'm
I don't think
feeling
people would notice. It's like 3
Yeah,
points from your pool that's changed.
which is like a quarter of my health.
Yeah.
The official Patsy point
Dude, I'll do it for
bookkeepers
you.
have
You want
have duly
No, I don't want it.
Minus 100
Julie
death
snapped
points.
us on the head.
Marching into clearly their death. Like you'd want to go in with people you trust. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I trust everybody. So
Sir,
There's a lot of cert.
Bobert trusts that he can't
Cert.
trust Patsy.
perfect.
But you guys are still together, so by the axiom that he laid down in episode 6, Patsy will be his best self if he is looking out for Orion, and that appears to be what's happening. Although honestly, there's a lot more of it going the other way. But I'm sure that you'll step up and do your part in this relationship.
yeah, this really needs to be a 50-50.
Fine. This group is weird as hell, but I guess we're going to the woods.
Joe's got a date with Destiny, and we're all gonna get to see it. Isn't that something, Patsy? You ever had a date with Destiny?
I've been running for Destiny all my life, Bobert.
The future is not decided by a roll of the dice, but by the conscious decisions of you and me.
Yeah, Cat. That's right.
Trained in philosophy.
I love it because I'm not even like, I'm just sitting here. I didn't even think about it. It's like, it's great. That's perfect.
How do we
Right.
not get killed by something that can wreck a whole city and snap of the fingers?
Get all your buffs up. Oh wait, no.
Assess the
Wrong game.
winds.
Yeah, sorry.
Could I?
I don't know what image projector is, but we can basically use it like mirror image.
If
It's
I were
just a number.
to scan the interwebs, would I be able to find out, like, is this thing been here for a while? Like, is it part of established history?
Yeah, give me a
Or is
roll.
it very recent? Okay.
Oh,
Can I use a real dice? Okay. I feel like I'm gonna F it up too much. 'Cause I'm sitting here.
Joe did tell Bobert that they think it's a warning sign. As in, it was
Your
intentional.
bodyguard.
Well, I'm trying to find out where it is.
Okay.
Bobert guard.
And I did bad on that. got
Bobert
4.
like stopped listening in that.
You're trying to. Well, I don't think you
Hear
can
what
find out
he
where it
wants
is, but you might be able to get more information.
I'm
about
trying to get any sort of information on it. Like, we know it's a you're a blind player, but like, what's it up to, and if there's any sort of like, if I could just browse the wiki entry or scan it really quick, looking for like anything to watch out for or anything that would provoke it. I don't want to provoke it. I just want to like be aware of like what we're doing.
Yeah.
To not alarm him, I guess. I'm trying to find ways to like as safely as
Avoid
possible
it.
get it to get into the what's it, the Westwood. Okay. I roll pretty badly, so you can just like say I don't know about that.
Yeah. It seems the news that you get is kind of bad news from the you learned something you wish wasn't true in the Powered by the Apocalypse language, that this thing burrows underground and has the like equivalent of tremor sense, right? So it's really hard to avoid it because it's not in sight, and it's able to perceive you guys through vibrations of you walking when it's under the ground. So it's like it's a deadly opponent. Yeah.
But
Okay. As some flavor, because I rolled so poorly on the data sphere, I like short it out a little bit and like What? Wait, guys, guys. I think we should walk softly.
Glimpsing into the outside
Tread
does give us an
carefully.
asset. Could it be on like trying to look out for signs of the creature on our way there?
Yeah, it could be.
Since basically what I saw was that either the terrifying idea would be that there are more there. What I was hoping was the case was that it will pursue us there, or that it's already headed there.
To the Westwood. You got the impression it was like laying in wait in the Westwood for anyone to show up. It already killed everyone in the village near it,
Yeah.
and now it's kind of just waiting for anyone to show up in the Westwood. Was the impression you got? Yeah, but you could totally get your asset on rolls to spotting it, or initiative to like reacting to its appearance. The first round of like attacks against it, or defense rolls against it. Those are some options that I have made up. But
Yeah.
Oh, also, I evidently wrote out all the rolls here. If I did find anything, you can gain an asset in rolls against it by finding out information about it. So
from the
knowing
data
that-
sphere.
knowing that it has tremor sense, I could communicate that to the group, so that can help us, I guess, in rolls of trying to avoid it.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Avoiding its like surprise attack kind of thing from the burrow.
does it have eyes? Do we know that?
I don't,
Or does it
I don't
purely
think so.
tremor sense?
Does not appear to have eyes.
Didn't see a nose either.
Does it bleed?
Have you stabbed it yet?
I like this quote. It has been postulated that there is only one Errant the Grask, and the various encounters that have been documented are in fact just projections into our reality of that singular entity.
Nice.
Trask.
Oh, it's one thing.
Yeah, right.
So when everyone sees it, it's just like it's like a hologram.
Yeah.
A hologram theory. Oh, that's so cool.
Well, it's good to know we can't see it coming. Should help.
Hey, can't see us coming. They'll feel it.
Oh, you know what would confuse it? Nah, it's too silly.
No, say it. You kidding me?
Want to piggyback, Joe?
Can we all piggyback on
certainly
top of
help.
each other like in a 5-man style?
Maybe.
Cannot wait for this constructive feedback.
I think you guys are on to good thoughts, though. You're getting towards something that might be
Graboids!
useful. Graboid.
Graboid, Klingons.
How navigable are the
Right.
trees? Can we run like ninjas through?
If we do it, you have to have your arms held out. And
Yeah.
do this.
That's what running like a ninja means. That is my ninja.
And not touching the ground. Just
That's
moving train.
Nindo, not Ninja Way. Speed reader.
All right, you guys have any kind of plan?
Ninja running through some trees.
Yeah, how do we walk without touching the ground? Wait a minute.
What a great
What are
question.
you riding on? You guys, they had something, right? They were. They leave their Anines somewhere.
They had a Neen that they were riding on, but he does have a flying pet, but I don't think it's big enough to carry anybody.
Oh.
It's very. It's like
Like a stingray kind of thing. Yeah.
it's like a disc.
Yeah.
It's a furry disc.
There's like
And
5
it's so thin that you
feet
can't see it when it's flat. So it's like it probably has like almost no strength.
What's hedge magic do again?
Probably not.
Visual tricks and stuff.
Yeah.
Visual stuff.
No levitation or flight.
Okay. I didn't know if it was purely just like. You did not see
Do
that.
you
Are
guys
we
have any
expecting
ciphers that might?
Are we expecting
allow you
to
to be
track?
floating?
Are we expecting to kill this thing? I mean, we can't avoid it, right?
Right. No, in fact, I
I have an idea.
don't.
Speak up.
Well, I'm not gonna overtalk. Go
Oh.
ahead. Go ahead.
No, go Cash. It would be very convenient for Joe if you.
Do we know it's intelligent?
What? Yeah.
I say we distract it with a riddle.
It spoke to you.
Boy.
And
Wait, how do you know
different
this
features,
stuff? I'm just so confused how you know this stuff.
Perfect. We're gonna distract it with a riddle.
I'm
what-
prepared. I'm Batman.
This totally seems to be the same line of thought that we were pursuing earlier. On the right
I'm
track.
prepared. So what we'll do is I will present a riddle to it to distract it.
Just be happy he didn't choose ride this time for his daily train.
I can't ride a thing that is like that phases the reality. Also, it has too many hands, and that's kind of gross.
No, but
Yeah,
you tried to
wait.
ride the fucking thing.
And was it not fucking hilarious?
Yes, it was.
Yes.
You nailed
this
it.
time, I will distract it with a riddle.
Yeah,
about
with
this?
with
And then ride
philosophy.
it.
You
Yes.
walk into the woods and try to distract it with a riddle, and we'll follow behind you.
I'm ready.
Patsy, that's
Okay, okay.
mean.
I think this could work.
So if a
Hey,
cache
hey,
is
he's-
devoured in the woods and no one's there to see
He
it,
believes in me, okay?
No.
I'm. Everyone else is poo-pooing on my idea. Patsy over here
I'm here
believes in
for
me.
it.
Patsy
We'll be right
wants
behind
you.
you.
To
Thank
go
you.
God, Cash, come on.
Right. We can't.
No, it'll be great. It'll be
We
long
have to
enough.
approach on foot.
It'll be great.
I think you have tapped into Jophiel's vision of the massacre that occurred in her vision. And it,
trying to
and
talk
it
to her.
sinks in a little bit, and you're like, oh, you know.
There's clearly no other way we're gonna be doing this. Even with extra time, we're not gonna be able to handle it. I could be sitting there with like 6 turns, and it'll turn around and hit me 6 times. So clearly, the best way to do this is to distract it, and then perform my secret technique, which is running away.
Wait, you know something about this too?
You explained it was intelligent. You said it spoke to
Yeah,
you,
but
right?
you said it can move quickly.
The game master said I said it spoke.
Oh, so
It said the like you were told.
Patsy's
last.
very
yeah.
curious how you
Yeah.
know this information.
I'm sorry. It has multiple hands, so I assume it can throw multiple objects.
How do you know that?
Did you not describe what you saw?
An errant grass.
She said nothing. They said nothing.
Okay, never mind then.
Well, you know though. Patsy's just curious how you know.
I data sphered that, didn't I? So I know I got a little bit of it. I
And
got to see its wiki entry.
I did tell Bobert that Bobert asked what is it, and
Yeah.
Joe described the errant grass.
That is my in-lore way to describe what I know it is. Because I saw the data sphere, I saw what it looked like, and I only got to see a little bit of a glimpse.
What you thinking?
I'm thinking about something that
Patsy's trying to track you.
I'm thinking.
I'm playing right into it because this is
I
gonna
want
be
to
fun.
ask if we
This is gonna be
can
fucking
do,
hilarious.
since my player brain is failing to solve something, I wanted to ask if I could do a roll to get some sort of inspiration.
Okay.
or
What are you thinking like
Lying.
generally?
I'm still fixated on trying to come up with a way that we don't actually have to walk in the lines of like along the same line, or at least like disguising our movement in a way that would
Can we swim? Can we swim?
Yes, exactly what I was thinking. Does the river go to the westward?
You might have to find out. It does go.
It looks like it
Tributary.
Yes.
The Weir River.
That is the weirdest name for a river.
I figured it out because I was looking at the terrain.
Excellent.
Yes.
Is that where it's physically located right now? Though?
Although Orion's definitely not floating down a river.
Okay, I'm gonna do a fast forward to get us a good hook. Give us a good hook to end on, and
He could ride on someone's shoulders and stay dry while we tread water.
why are we worried about getting wet?
I don't know, because he's a diva.
Oh.
Orion's definitely not floating down a river.
I don't know. I mean, God, is this really what we're doing? We're floating down the river?
Barrels out of bond.
Barrels out
Yeah,
of
okay, so what are we
line.
doing with this battery? We're floating the battery down the river with us? What about all our armor and all of our
We
gear?
need to make a. I'm sure that we can find adequate, like, destroyed materials to construct a raft, or there might even be whole boats
Construct
sitting
a
around.
raft? I think we just go in here and we know that this thing's coming for us and we prepare for it. The villagers had no idea.
I'm pretty sure the last time we got onto a floating like vehicle of some sort, it turned out really well, right?
He's got a point.
I've asked one question. Does it bleed? No one's answered that question yet.
But if you would, then therein lies the answer of how to kill it, Bobert.
It is an organic creature. It's from a different dimension, but it's still like a living organism.
Rumor says the same Aaron's grass has been plaguing civilizations across our reality.
They're nothing but rumors. You admit it yourself.
Well, most of the rumors about you are true, Orion, so. Maybe
Catarask.
for us getting to test our metal against this.
But I got this.
But
I just regret that the audience at home didn't get to see that.
Well, yeah.
Such an epic struggle.
He's like, no, I will do this.
I'm committed.
I'm sorry, there was a question happening.
I still vote for the riddle.
I also vote for the riddle. Cash goes in first.
About the riddle of steel.
Yeah.
Pull out my blade.
We're probably still gonna have to fight this thing even if we float down to it, but
Well, can it cross a river? Do we even know that?
Yes,
We combine both plans.
it can cross dimensions.
Yep.
I feel like we need as many advantages going into this as we can get. And an element of surprise is not a bad one.
Well, I was thinking we could fan out, so if Orion prefers to go on foot and we'll trigger the assault first, honestly, that's the way I would want it.
Other people could stay nearby in the river.
What's your hook?
How many people do these?
I'm kind of waiting until you guys.
How
make
many
a
people
decision on how to get
did
in
the
there.
Carlos creatures carry? Could there
big.
be 2 or like even 3 people on
Yes,
one of them?
They're big.
Yeah.
So what if we go in on like 2 of these creatures with like 3 of us on one, 2 of us on the other, the battery. And then like as far as its tremor sense is picking up, it's just picking up 2 large
That's
creatures.
what I
At
was
least it
thinking
doesn't know our
originally,
numbers.
yeah.
I have a better
You may not
idea.
even be interested in.
Let's send the Anine in first. The tremors will be much larger.
Use the beast to trigger the Aaron's Thrask.
Well, I think Patsy's thinking make a louder noise than our weapon.
Beast trigger
You know what's louder than
their interest, and then we follow up on it.
is he Gaian? Is that what that guy is? Send the guy in.
No, they have to guide us to
Is
the
Crow sitting there?
It won't hurt him, right? Surely not.
Well, and I think
If that is what
Josh's
must be
point
done
is that,
for us to get there,
like, a need wouldn't necessarily cause it to come out of hiding, right? Because it's just like, oh, there's some need.
Or if it did,
by.
I don't know if it would perceive how many of us that there are. You know, we would have an advantage in that it wouldn't know what our numbers are. All that it would know is two big walking creatures. It busts up out of the ground, and there's multiple people riding on top of these creatures that jump down.
I mean, did we really catch it off guard, though?
No, but also like it doesn't know that we know of its presence. It's like this. It's like the ambush against the Cabal, where we had to wait and bait for them in the theater, but also we knew that they were coming, so we had an advantage in that we could be prepared.
With the tremors, like whatever comes on, it even if we know it's there, it's going to be able to detect us first. Is my impression.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I do like the idea of using controlling the like what or who is actually making vibrations. So like sending the animals to trigger it, I don't think is a bad idea because we need it to get up before we can do anything.
Yeah.
So we send the animals in one direction, we sneak off in another while it's trailing that.
No, it's
No.
more like
No?
we
The
what's
animals
coming in
have to be
buffers.
the only thing making a vibration. We have tools that we can use to make sure that whatever it jumps out and attacks first is not us.
It's nice knowing you, Kyan.
you guys can.
I mean, yeah, out of character, we can't send in this NPC. He's a person that
I'm
like is
kidding.
not. Yeah,
I'm kidding.
And really, his creatures, I don't know if he's going to be willing to like let us just
Yeah.
ride in with them. So that's
he seems like he's willing to do what must be done to accomplish this task
Bobert,
that will save the world. Yeah.
When you ride the lightning, are you able to like ride on like Static Shock style?
Mm-hmm.
So you could float across?
Yeah, but and that's for like a long distance, but I feel like even to approach close, first of all, that's just me and tops one other person. Second of all, I think what Hannah's point was that we don't know how long the range on its tremor perception is.
there is
so-
no sneaking up on this.
Yeah, exactly.
What if Orion throws the battery and like one of those jumps?
Unless-
because he always
Unless
does well
the
with
river takes us
Who just
right
ran on it?
up to the place where we need to be, that is the only. way
Krala
to
shows you
sneak
the
out.
map, and it takes you pretty close to it, but
Yeah.
you'll still have to go across like
I don't see why we
150,
wouldn't.
200 feet of ground to get up to the tree.
I don't see why we wouldn't take the river as far as we could and then count on encountering it when we have to go by foot.
Because I'm wearing medium armor and I can't float down a river in medium armor, and I'm not keen of taking it off and then being like naked in the middle of the battlefield when I have to put my armor back on.
Big old stuff.
Or these creatures, or the battery. I think just floating down the river is impractical. We could end up in a situation where actually like more dire than if we just go in prepared on the backs of creatures. I think we can throw down against this thing. That was a bunch of villagers.
I'm ready to throw down.
But it was
I'm
a
ready to see.
bunch of villagers. It was a whole village.
Yeah, but they didn't never say die.
It's true.
Exactly.
But neither does Bobert, and neither does Cash, and neither does Patsy, and neither does
Well,
you.
Orion will take the
It's
lead.
just Orion. The rest of us say die.
Dude, why are you worried? I'm training philosophy.
All right, what's your plan, guys?
Right, we'll go by foot and Orion's the bait.
We don't have to do that. Sorry that this is coming down to the wire of making this decision.
You guys can think about it and adjust the plan for next week, but I want to leave you on a hook.
Do it.
So we can retcon if you guys come
If
up
some
with a
people
different
want to float
plan.
down the river and try to sneak up, that's fine, and we can be riding kind of nearby the river so
It's
that you
not
guys
so
can
much
pop
a
out.
sneak thing as being able to control where the encounter occurs.
Closer, you want it to occur closer to the thing rather than.
Hey, okay, can I? is hedge magic? Is it complex enough to turn something into like?
You're just gonna have to look it up. I'm sorry, I don't know what exactly it does.
I'll look it up.
Wait,
Book's right there.
Wait, Effigy, tell us what hedge magic does.
Tell me,
Just look it up.
Can I turn something?
Look it
It's
up
like
and
a
we'll
first
see.
level nano thing,
But
so
we-
it's like a real like. It's like a shifting visually of something
It's
pretty
cantrip.
basic.
Actually, no, it's a jack tier thing. You can perform small tricks, temporarily change the color, basic appearances of objects, cause small objects to float through the air, clean a small area, mend a broken object, prepare food, but not created, and so on. You can't use hedge magic to harm another creature or object. I'm gonna hedge magic some rope. Anybody got any rope?
Yep.
All right, let's say we can all figure out exactly how you guys get into the woods, but you manage to get to the tree. The tree is all right, cut it out, Locke. The tree is massive, 700 feet tall, 60 feet in diameter. I've got
Holy shit.
a camera up
That
here.
is huge.
Yeah, 60 feet in diameter, right? You can have
That is beyond redwoods.
You can have, what, 10 people or something standing around it holding hands? More than that.
No,
It is
60.
6
You're
foot.
talking circumference, diameter. You're saying 60-foot diameter
Yeah.
across.
Yeah. Cut it out, dude. I get it. It's a hanging cable, but if you didn't keep pulling it down, then it wouldn't be hanging. All right, so there's this massive tree. It's definitely weird and otherworldly. Occasionally, the cracks between all of the bark and whatnot are glowing with some kind of otherworldly look, right? And Cash, you have a moment looking at this tree that you remember a memory, how sometimes kids can totally bury a particular memory because it was traumatic or because of whatnot, right? This memory comes flooding back to you of standing before this tree, but it was definitely a little bit different. It wasn't quite the same, but you were with your father, right? The Professor Weft, standing in these woods, and you were crying because you had this feeling like your father was leaving you, but he kept saying something like, your father is going to be on the other side of this door.
He said that?
Yeah, he kept saying, your father is going to be able to take care of you. And you kept saying why? Why do I have to leave you? And him saying, it's going to be okay. You're going to have to do this on your own. And you remember this utter terror of stepping up to this tree and him having to coax you through it, and you crying and being like, why do I have to do this on my own? Can't you do it with me, Dad? And him being like, you have to do this, you have to do this. And then the last thing he said before he gave you this gentle push and you slipped into this tree as if it was just liquid, like you were just parting liquid, stepping into some other place, was, I hope that your father can succeed where I've failed. I hope that I send you to a world with more of a future than this one. And you slip into this crazy tree, and you have this incredible feeling of being disintegrated and all of your particles being scattered in all directions, and then an infinite amount of time later, them all coming back together and you stepping through the tree as if you had just walked through a pane of glass, and you're stepping back and everything seems the same except a little bit different. Everything seems a little bit reversed, and your father is standing there, and he has an expression on his face of sadness and of not quite recognition, but he greets you with a warm hug, and that's the man who raised you.
That's good timing. And then Aaron Thrask shows up.
And we'll find out what happens next week.
Oh man.
Oh.
So, we'll find out what happens with that next week.
So much drama.
Sorry that was pointed at the tree the whole time. Thanks, audience, for dealing with that.
Where was your dad all along?
It was the tree.
Pink Death? No, that wasn't a worm.
Make sure to tune in on Sunday when we do Chronicles of Future Earth, which is going to be some glorious, wonderful, epic, far future magic craziness in conjunction with the Kickstarter currently live. And next week, Thursday, we'll be doing GMXP, and Friday, we'll be doing this again, and it's going to be glorious as we venture into this tree, mayhaps, and find what mysteries lie
If we can
beyond.
just decide how we got there.
I say we just use some
We made it. That's all that
conjecture.
Whatever we did.
River plus walking with the Neens and
We
others.
swore
yeah.
we would never speak of it again.
Yeah. You guys can hash that out, and we'll start with that
Do we?
next week.
I say we skip it.
I say we skip it.
Glorious.
Aaron Grass here to kill you.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. See you all on Sunday.